But the last one, they tossed for some reason. Just go whenever you're ready.
Testing 1 2, testing 1 1 2 3, testing microphone 4. 1 2 1 2, test 1 2. 1 2, test.
There you go.
Testing microphone 1, testing 1 2 1 2, testing 1 1.
Got me?
Where are you? 1? Yep, go.
Hello, testing.
Go again.
Testing, yep.
You're on 2.
2, sorry.
Yeah. So who's got 1?
Testing.
Go.
Yeah.
Right, you two will need to swap, because if I look over there, it'll fuck me. I look at them as 1 2 3 4.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Alright, so number 1.
Yep, testing.
Yep.
Yep.
Beautiful. 2.
Yep, got it.
3.
Testing. 1 2.
Beautiful.
Who's out, Seymour?
When the game's on, do you want fluoro on?
Nah, turn it off. I just see what it looks like. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that's better for me. What about you guys?
Yeah, I can see fine.
Okay. Leave it off then.
Yep. Are we good to go?
Who's out, Seymour? Yeah.
Check off Andy's thing. Do I have to press anything when we're going live, or?
No, you just go.
Henry.
20 seconds.
Have we got Henry?
20 seconds?
Henry and Sharp.
15 seconds.
10.
15 Fair Park Reserve under lights is where we finish this fantastic round of Anzac Day football in the Eastern Football League. My name's Paul Semertzidis. I'm stoked to be out here, my first time out here at Fair Park Reserve since round 2, 2009. That was a long time ago. Andy PaolaccI, my co-commentator for this evening. Welcome out here to the Eastern Lions Football Club, a place where I dare say you've never been before.
Yeah, this is definitely my debut here at Fair Park Reserve, and I'm absolutely stoked to be here on such a eventful occasion. The Anzac Day night game clash. It's going to be an absolute belter between these two sides that I think are very evenly matched. I can't wait to see how this one plays out.
Of course, one of two Anzac Day clashes tonight at Bayswater, hosting the Scoresby Football Club just down the road. We'll try and bring you some scores for some games that happened earlier this afternoon as we get those coming through, but not too far away from a 6:15 start here. It's Andy, it's not too often we get out to see Division 4 football on a radio game, so that chucks another somewhat of a spanner in the works, but it's good to be out here supporting local football in Division 4.
Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely great to be here out, as I said, in Fair Park Reserve. Both sides are coming into this game with a 1-win, 1-loss ratio.
Yep, so the latter is pretty pointless at this stage, I would have thought.
Yeah, pretty pointless at this stage. But look, it's sort of these are the games where it's really going to sort out, the elite from maybe the not so quite. So I really look forward to seeing how this one plays out. As I said, with the Eastern Lions, they started out with a loss, 82-point loss to Forest Hill.
Yep.
Back that up with a 9-goal win against Surrey Park. For the FERNTREE Gully side, they won their first game against Surrey Park as well, only by the 9 points. But then they backed that up with a 7-goal loss to Warrandyte, who are expected to be big things in Division 4.
No, they certainly are. I thought the Eastern Lions last week, that performance against Surrey Park was absolutely fantastic. It was a game that we all thought was going to be close, especially after Surrey Park only just went down to FERNTREE Gully. So Eastern Lions, I'm just having a look at them run around now as they come out onto the ground. They look like a tall, strong side who have played some good footy so far.
Yeah, I really look forward to seeing how the Eastern Lions play out, especially in these conditions. I think with the wet, I think FERNTREE Gully are a bit more of a running side, and seeing how the bigger bodies of the Eastern Lions play out, I think that will suit them in this game tonight.
Of course, Division 4 football, but we've certainly got a Division 1 call team jammed into the EFL caravan this evening, and I'll start with one of our men on special comments. He likes to think of himself as the Division 1 specialist, but it's good for him to get out here and see some Division 4 footy. It's a very good evening to you, Aaron Kirkby-Rodier.
Thanks, Seymour. Yeah, I'm really excited to be here tonight. Looking forward to seeing two teams, especially a young FERNTREE Gully side. Obviously, a successful junior program for them last year, so excited.
And you saw another game of Eastern Football League action today. That must have been fantastic out there at the Bull Ring this afternoon. Mullen Reserve, it might have been.
Yeah, Mullen. Yeah, no, it was a terrific game. A good win for the Norsemen, getting their first win on the board in season 2015. And saw a bit of a Kyle Martin show in the first quarter, which got me pretty excited. But unfortunately, it didn't continue on for the rest of the day for the Bulls. But good win to the Norsemen. It
was, especially considering they were at Norton too, so a good way for them to kick-start. And joining you in the special comments chair, the extra special comments chair, we'll call it tonight, on your game day debut, I believe, in here, Aaron Hurle, the Mayor of Blackburn, the King of the Blackburn Football Club. Welcome to the media team.
Yeah, thanks, Seymour. It's great to be here. So, yeah, disappointing day for Blackburn today. They just ended up going down by about 5 goals to South Croydon. It would have been one of the games that they probably penciled in at the start of the year. So, disappointing, but anyway, they'll rebound. So looking forward to tonight's game. I saw both these sides in the pre-season, and they both showed a bit of form, so looking forward to it.
And both sides just lining up for the Anzac Day duties. It is a sacred day on the football calendar. There's no need to justify that. Just having a look at Jason Wan out there for the Eastern Lions, rolling around in the Channel 9 dots instead of the number 9, which we haven't seen in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne for almost 3 or 4 seasons now. So maybe time to update the jumpers here at Fair Park for the Eastern Lions, guys.
Bit of a throwback, but I like to see it. It's let's call it their heritage jumper. Why not?
Yeah, why not? We don't think we're quite picking up our Master of Ceremonies here through the effects mic, so we'll do our best to try and talk over the top of it, and hopefully we can be silent as the national anthem is being played. But it's good to get out here across the road from EFL House, of course, and the Eastern Lions Football Club, which has somewhat of a celebrated history, was once known as the Fair Park Football Club, won a Division 4 premiership not too long ago, but now find themselves, they've been a middle-of-the-road club, Andy. It's time for them to take that step to being recognised in the eastern suburbs now.
Yeah, that's right. They've never bottomed out, but they've never been in the elite of Division 4 either. So this is a chance for them this season. With a couple of new clubs, introduced clubs into Division 4, this is their chance to take that step up, to make finals and really give it a shake. Because once you're there, you never know what can happen.
Just, I think we're about to hear the Australian national anthem. Of course, we are out here at Fair Park Reserve this evening for the big clash in Division 4 between the Eastern Lions and the FERNTREE Gully Footy Club, AKR of FERNTREE Gully Footy Club, that boast some AFL experience, which you don't see down in Division 4 too often.
Yeah, look, Justin Murphy's made the move down from Knox, so looking forward to see him running
and
around.
Carlton and Richmond and Geelong. And
Essendon.
Yeah, there's a few in there.
Yeah.
So,
and now the Eastern Lions. Oh, sorry, FERNTREE Gully.
had more clubs than Simon Minton Connell.
oh, he was a decent footballer. Come on, Seymour.
A stalwart. I've got to say, 2 Renwicks at Bourne. Is this the first time we've ever had 2 Aarons in the commentary caravan?
Yes, that's a good call by you. It's going to get confusing, but we'll go with Aaron and Hurle for the new man.
No worries.
And Seymour, do you think we'll get the Murphys playing on each other?
Oh, I hope so. That'd be a fantastic matchup.
There's 3 of them.
Well, but I suppose you're talking about Lee Murphy, though, the playing coach from the Eastern Lions Footy Club. He is a very, very impressive young man. He was right up there in the Eastern Suburbs Coach of the Year in the Eastern Region Coaches Association's award last year. He's a school teacher. He's barely 30 years of age. We'll touch on him a little bit later on as the last post is just being played here.
Let's preach the good.
The Australian national anthem. Yes, well, if that doesn't get the hair standing up on the back of your neck, nothing will. A fantastic prelude to what's sure to be a fantastic game of Division 4 football. A FERNTREE Gully Eagles Football Club that could easily be in Division 3. They've been a fantastic force in Division 4 for quite some time now. They find themselves coming up against the bright young upstarts, we'll call them, an Eastern Lions side, which is looking to shake the best of the rest tag. Hurle, I'll start with you, mate. Maybe a quick tip and some reasons why.
Look, I was leaning towards the Lions, but now I see that Lee Rankins, he's out. And, you know, the weather would have suited him and the conditions would have suited him. You know, it's crash and bash style. So, look, I'm probably just going to go with FERNTREE Gully in a close one by, you know, about 5 points, I'll say.
Yep, AKR, your thoughts?
Yeah, look, I reckon the Lions might get up tonight. I think FERNTREE Gully are a strong side and have been for a while. I think the Lions will be up for it tonight, and Jay want to be the best man on the ground.
There's some big men running around out there for the Eastern Lions. Big Nick Cowan and Gareth Bailey, who are probably going to share the bulk of the ruck duties today. And just having a look at Nick Cowan in front of us, Andy PaolaccI, he might get snapped in half tonight.
Yeah, Nick Cowan, captain courageous, but yeah, he's a tall kid. He's a fairly lanky kid. I definitely think we'll see him in the ruck tonight. Again, if I was to give a tip as well, I'm thinking the bigger bodies of the Eastern Lions with these conditions will prevail, and I think they'll get up marginally tonight.
And of course, it is a special day, and we've seen some results, and just try and flick through as many as I can off the top of my head. Out of the Vermont Recreation Reserve this afternoon, they split the points, the Eagles and the Tigers, after the Vermont side held sway for most of the afternoon. So our second draw in Division 1 this season, and in Division 2 we saw our third draw for this season, but in starkly different fashion. Unfortunately for the Doncaster Sharks, there was a badly broken leg to, I think, Tyson McElwain was the player. I think Doncaster led by a point at that stage, and in a true show of sportsmanship and something that really sums up Anzac Day and what it's all about, they restarted the game. The captain of Doncaster handed the ball to Andrew Teakle, who went down and kicked a point for one turner south, and then the game was called off when the scores were level. It took about 45 minutes for an ambulance to come, even longer than that for them to get the young fella off the ground. So, Aaron, if that doesn't sum up, Hurle, if that doesn't sum up what today is all about, and I'm not sure what does.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a great day, and you know these blokes out here, they'd be thrilled, and you know with Eastern Lions playing their first night match, so you know they'll be wanting to put on a good show.
There's both sets of players just making their way into position here. We're about to get underway here at Fair Park Reserve. It's been fantastic to be out in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne watching football under lights. It's not something we get to do too often. Of course, Bayswater is our usual home of night football. We decided to come out here and give Division 4 a little bit of love this afternoon. For what it's worth, I'm sticking with the home side. I think the Eastern Lions are a little bit of a height advantage. They've got the big bodies in and around when they need to have them as well. They might just be a little bit tough around the stoppages for mine, and it's time for the Eastern Lions to stand up and perform in senior football, and that's going to start for them this evening against the FERNTREE Gully Football Club.
It's a fair park too, isn't it?
It is. Very nice from you. And
it's smooth.
Okay.
Quick shout out to one of my favourite eateries, the Curry Manor, just across our left shoulder here.
Yes, might have to head there later.
Yeah, go down there for a good chicken korma, a couple of onion bhaji. Very nice from them at the Curry Manor, and very nice here at Fair Park Reserve as we're about to get underway, and it's going to be big Gareth Bailey doing battle in the ruck with Vito LaRusso of FERNTREE Gully. The ball comes down, and we're going to see a lot of this evening. We're going to see a lot of stoppage football. It's still a bit wet, still a bit slippery, and I'm not sure the rain is finished coming down here as somebody does a tumble. They're going to get the free kick here, the Eastern Lions.
Jack Ormston just got bundled off the ball.
Yep, first possession to them, and they go long inside forward 50, and coming out and taking a strong mark for the Eastern Lions is... sure we have that player in our team sheet this afternoon. Oh, we do.
Bird, is it?
Big Redzik.
Yeah, Redzik.
Big Sandor Redzik coming
wears
in.
the number 22.
Yeah, he does. He's wearing number 6, which is usually worn by the playing coach Leroy Murphy, who's succumbed to injury this evening. So here's the first shot on goal. Right from outside the 45-metre line here at Fair Park Reserve, and hits the top of the right-hand goal post. So there's our first score of the evening. One behind to the Eastern Lions. They lead the FERNTREE Gully Football Club by that point.
He's in some good form, Seymour. He kicked 3 last week and was probably one of the better players for the Lions.
So in defence here, FERNTREE Gully assessing their options. The ball's belted outside the defensive 50. Flying high there was McComb, unable to take the mark. Ball comes to ground. Players throwing themselves right at it here. The umpire will call for a throw up.
I didn't realise how short this ground was, probably until just then. You got a real appreciation for it. Doesn't take a big kick to get the ball down the goal mouth at either end here.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was the true 50 metres, but either way, the Eastern Lions, they look to go inside their forward 50. Doesn't quite make it there. Kick goes off the side of the boot, and it is another throw-in.
Darren Murphy, the man there for the Eastern Lions.
So the ruckman will go at it. Bit of a shallow throw-in there. Trying to feed it out once again is McComb. He gets the tackle instead. McComb, such a great junior player that's come through the system and now finds himself in the hustle and bustle of senior footy.
Yep, his identical twin brother Robbie, I think, has found himself at the Vermont Footy Club. But, both fantastic FERNTREE Gully players.
So the ball comes to the commentary side here, right in front of us. We've got an excellent view of it. Unable to handle the ball there was Murphy, and the ball eventually does thrust its way out of bounds with a bit of push and shove in front of us here, Seymour.
Yeah, Benny Prowse just trying to rough up Luke McComb. I'm not sure why you wouldn't do that. Ruffle the feathers of the young player. Bohan against Bailey up in the ruck. Bailey gets first hands down. That man Luke McComb is first one on the footy, but he's wrapped up immediately. And Ben Prowse again, he really wants to make his presence known, and that's a little bit of ill discipline. He's given away the free kick. Running through and taking a bounce is Russo. There's the first inside 50 for the FERNTREE Gully side. Leading in the race, I think, was Kamira. No side either to get a handle on this footy. It's a wet, sloppy ball here at Fair Park Reserve this evening, and the Lions, they do get that clearing kick. Darren Murphy gets the handball across to a teammate. They're going to use that outer wing here. That kick is ill-directed. It's going to go out of bounds right in front of the Eastern Lions commentary box. Coach's box even.
It's a good run there from Jason White. He got the footy back again. He was the one who got a couple of possessions out of the back line there. His kick was a bit ill-directed, but that was good run and carry tonight.
Harley Lambrick at half forward for the Eastern Lions, leading in the race for that footy. Bailey gets it down to a mass of players. Eagles and Lions converge on this football, this yellow Sharon. Of course, under lights here at Fair Park Reserve. Russo gets it out. Left foot kick is no good, but it's going to sit there for Justin Murphy, who goes back. Finds a teammate, and now the FERNTREE... Oh, that kick's ill-directed. Goes over the top of Ricky Aitken. Almost got his head taken off. Bundled out. They're going to get a free kick downfield, so some more ill discipline from the Lions.
Kamira
might be on here.
Yeah.
Look, I think it's Ryan Pearce with number 41 for FERNTREE Gully.
That's correct. Lockhart gets his own footy back, just through the legs of Matthew Eddy. So no side really able to find some contested, efficient possession here. The ball flying around at all angles. Lockhart's in and amongst it for the Eagles. The ball gets bundled out. They've got one back here. Tackled lay again. Not a lot happening as some emergency services just do some sharp work on the far side of the ground here. Lockhart goes inside forward 50 for the Eagles. Bouncing ball over the back. First goal coming up for the evening, I think. And he has. He's put it through. Not quite sure who it was here, Andy PaolaccI. We seem to be a bit blindsided out here at Fair Park Reserve this evening.
They're both getting high fives, so that's not helping.
I don't think it was Pearce.
It might have been Matthew Kamira. He's gone with the man bun on top of the scone this evening.
I think you might be right there, Seymour. I think it was Matthew Kamira.
So rain starts coming down here at Fair Park Reserve. 1 straight 6, the FERNTREE Gully Footy Club. They lead the Eastern Lions by 1 behind.
They're just moving the ball a lot cleaner and quicker when they do get the ball FERNTREE Gully. So if Eastern Lions continue to let them do that, they're going to get hurt tonight.
So Bowen goes up and gets the tap there, throwing himself in the cut and thrust of it is Godfrey. But he's unable to get a clear possession, and the umpire will call for a secondary bounce. So as we said, that footy is going to be like soap tonight. Clean possession will be at a premium. Both rucks go at it again. Eastern Lions almost get the clearance there. Big bump on in the contest of it all, but Rawlings gets the ball out and gets the clearance for the FERNTREE Gully side. They go inside their forward 50. At the back of the pack there is Turner. He tries to tap it on. It's come out to the far side, and will be a boundary throw-in.
Not a good night for young Patrick Turner in terms of the conditions. He kicked 70 goals in the under-19s competition last season. The FERNTREE Gully side, they went through undefeated and got beaten in the grand final by Coldstream. There's a couple of those players out there this evening, so keep an eye out for him. He's got the long sleeves on.
So the ball comes out. It's clearance to the Eastern Lions there, but the numbers are all with FERNTREE Gully. They'll look to affect the switch there. The handball is ill-directed. Throwing himself hard in there is Want. He wanted that ball more, didn't he? And the umpire says eventually it will be holding the ball, so it will go the way of the FERNTREE Gully side. And taking that kick is Caligiuri. Caligiuri, it's a bit of a wobbly kick there. Clean bowls his teammate. The numbers are with the Lions. They get the hand pass back there. against McComb. McComb feeds it out to Rawlings. Rawlings goes inside 50. In fact, he'll shoot for goal. Will it go all the way? In fact, it has. That's a fantastic goal there from Ben Rawlings. Just took it upon himself there, and from that, he just had only one decision, and that was to go for goal, and that's how it went.
That's the second time he's opened them up there. Rawlings, he's found a bit of space and finished off with a nice goal.
Starting to hurt them in the midfield now, boys. FERNTREE Gully around the contest. Eastern Lions aren't doing too badly, but when it's coming out and the decisive possessions are going to the FERNTREE Gully side.
It just seems they're getting sucked into it a bit too much, the Eastern Lions. The FERNTREE Gully boys happy to wait for their hard-bodied mids to win the football and are out on the outside of the packs waiting for it. Interesting to see how this game actually, eventually, when it does settle down, how it plays out. The Eastern Lions through Want go inside, almost inside forward 50. Leading in the race there for the home side is Lambrick. He's beaten to the footy by his direct opponent. And eventually they're both beaten by the boundary line. They've helped us out tonight with the team sheets here. We've got 4 separate ones and there's still players missing, so...
We'll do our best, Seymour.
The ball comes back in. I've liked the work of Bailey so far. He's going to have the advantage over Bohan all evening. The tackling pressure again is fantastic. We're going to have another stoppage situation and a quick shout out
Free kick, yep.
to our man BWS, who promised us his TV screen here this evening, but nowhere to be seen here at Fair Park Reserve, the Ben Warren Smith TV screen.
He owes us a beer.
He owed me one anyway.
Now he owes it 2.
Michael Russo, he's had 3 or 4 early touches for the Eagles, goes long inside 50.
Oh, good mark.
But a great mark standing tall there is Josh Temple for the Eastern Lions, who are out, had the FERNTREE Gully side outnumbered there. He's got players out wide, but opts to go directly down the middle.
Lovely kick.
Redzik. Not a lot of movement going inside, but eventually he kicks it in there and he's got a teammate all by himself. Pushing back and then coming back towards us was Kane Murphy. They did well to keep that forward line open. There's not a lot of space in it.
That was almost accidental there by Murphy. He slipped over and his man tried to cut off the lead of the big full forward coming out, and he had a chance to get back up and mark it, so he lost touch on him there.
Make no mistake, it is absolutely hoeing down here at Fair Park Reserve. Kane Murphy on the left foot, always to the right-hand side, but then swinging back late. A fantastic kick from Kane Murphy. There's the first one on the board for the Eastern Lions. A quick reply, 1-1-7. They trail the FERNTREE Gully Eagles 2 straight 12.
The interesting thing I've seen, boys, is the Eastern Lions, Ruckman, Bailey and Cowan, they're just dropping back in defence tonight. They're not pushing forward at all, leaving that forward line open to the forwards, and they're just sitting back there in defence, so trying to get in the way of Turner.
And Bailey, obviously a smart footballer, opting with the long sleeves tonight.
Yeah, the intelligent footballer indeed. And
Lee Williams rocked them today and kicked himself 5 goals.
I like a bloke in long sleeves for some reason. Just a throwback to a bygone era. Not a lot of blokes enough wear them these days, I don't think.
Well, we'll give that tap to Bailey as well. So the long sleeves gets the tap there. McComb's going to get the hand pass out. That was smothered though. Trying to feed out one is Kavara. He can't get a clear possession either. Eventually the ball finds its way to De Graaf, and the Eastern Lions will look to go inside forward 50 here. They eventually clear the ball, but there's a lot of Eagles around. They retain possession. They eventually do go inside forward 50 through the hands of the FERNTREE Gully defender there. Trying to pick the ball up there is Want. He can't do it on the second attempt. He gets the hand pass out there. It's a hard and tough footy. The umpire, what is he called here? He's called, it looks like it's incorrect disposal. So it will go the way of the Eagles.
I have to switch here. There's a massive zone set up behind the footy for the Eastern Lions down that far side.
Yeah, I think the switch is now gone there, okay, since the umpire has called for the footy back.
Well, on a wet night, it's going to be real hard work for a team in this position. It's stuck in the back pocket. To get it all the way up the other end in one go, I don't think we'll see it.
It will be very tough as the Eagles go outside of their defensive 50 to no target in particular, and the ball eventually trickles out of bounds. So as you said, absolutely teeming down here at Fair Park Reserve here, Seymour. It's really quite hard to see it at the far side, but we can see that Bailey does get another tap there. It's a huge amount of plays here. It's going to be tough to get as I said, an efficient possession out of this contest. The umpire surely will call for a secondary bounce.
Yeah, he's just got to be quicker here with the umpire, otherwise we'll be stuck with these. You hear it on the AFL on the TV all the time, the rolling mauls they call them. There'll be plenty of those.
Not a fan of them, Seymour?
No, I can't have them, mate. I'm here to watch the game of AFL football, not rugby union.
Might get the old under-9s pay a free kick.
Well, it seems that way at the moment as the ball is stuck on the far side of Fair Park Reserve, right out in front of the scoreboard, which has the FERNTREE Gully side leading by just 5 points. Eventually the boundary line does win out. We're going to have a boundary throw in at half forward or half back, depending on who you're playing for. The ball comes back into play. Rawlings is waiting over the back. Goes over the top of his head. Barnestorming through there. There's the Eastern Lions. They go long inside forward 50. They got that open forward line, but dropping back and taking a fantastic defensive mark for the Eagles, I think, is Russo. He's got a teammate wide. He's got one here again on the wing. That's Kamira. His long left foot kick down the line. Almost finds a teammate over the back. Lockhart's in there for FERNTREE Gully. Ball really not going anywhere. Eastern Lions have some players out the back, and it looks like they're going to be off and running. But the handball goes straight back to Kamira. He goes to McComb.
Lovely.
Settles in ball to Russo.
They can open her up here.
Caligiuri it is, sorry, for FERNTREE Gully. Kicks ill-directed, but coming out and meeting it fantastically is a teammate. Turns around on the left boot. Oh, almost marking it was Jamie Carpenter lookalike down there for FERNTREE Gully. Thanks to the bloke out there on the far side with his high beams on.
You got that TV screen in front of you now, Seymour?
Yeah, and it's a free kick to FERNTREE Gully, and it looks like it's going the way of Rawlings, who's already kicked a goal here in the first quarter. From a similar position, but that was on the run. It's going out towards the Scoresby Road end of the ground here.
Very similar position to where he kicked his first goal.
Keeps it to the right-hand side, and lucky that hit the post, because I'm pretty sure that was going straight for my car.
That's not a smart place to park, Seymour.
I was the only one here when we got in.
Yeah, well, there was people actually saving car parks, which annoys me a little bit.
Got to look after your friends there, okay?
No, but he's still there. I went back 3 or 4 times and still, no. Felt like whipping the old media pass out and saying, get out of the way, sunshine.
So Hall gets the kick out. It's retained possession here, deep in the back pocket for the Lions. Looks like the only option will be to go up the line there. It's a really ill-directed kick there. And the mark is eventually taken by Caligiuri. So he goes deep and penetrating kick inside their forward 50. The high flyers are with the Eastern Lions. They get a good competent spoil. There goes a good 20 metres. Eventually the ball comes out to Lawson. Lawson's chip kick doesn't find the teammate in Russo, who's been prominent early in this first quarter. There's a free kick here, and it will go the way of the Lions defender. So he'll get a chip kick out here. He'll go wide, very lateral. They're just happy to retain possession here, are the Lions. Someone is down behind play, or in front of us, if anything. Can't quite see who that player is. We'll try and get more information on that one. The ball goes up the line towards the half-forward 50 flank of Fair Park Reserve. Ball comes to the ground here. Leading the race is Ormston, but the boundary line beats him to it.
Both teams setting up really well behind the ball. Obviously conditions helping, but not easy to get the ball down from one end to the other at the moment.
Yeah, you're certainly right there, AK. It's going to be, as I said...
Free kick off the ball.
Yeah, there is a free kick. It looks like it was in the ruck duel, and it will go the way of the Lions. Sorry, I should say the Eagles. The ball comes out to Caligiuri. His kick goes up and under, but it will find a teammate. He gathers it on the half volley here. Chopping it off, though, is Cowan. As we said there, Cowan, the lanky little fella, or lanky tall fella, I should say. He doesn't even have the ball there, and he's getting tackled. But I think the umpire will just settle things down and just call for a ball up.
Patrick Turner coming right up the ground at the minute, fellas. He's come right out of that forward 50, leading up at the footy.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough night for him. It's going to be a tough night for anybody who thinks they're just going to sit in the forward line and take marks and kick goals. It's certainly not the conditions for it. This footy is going somewhere while it's not going anywhere at the same time. Lawson pushed backwards there. Fantastic tackling pressure from the Eastern Lions. The ball out on the far side here, right out in front of the coaches' boxes. The umpire's plucked out a free kick, holding the man, going the way of Tristan Curtis for the Eagles. So Curtis sends it back from where it came from. Not a lot of switching of the play going on. Over the head of a couple of players. Eastern Lions lead the race for that football. Temple gets his head pressure ripped off.
Absolute
and the umpire absolutely dumped behind play after he got rid of the footy. Accidental, I'm sure.
Nice in that dark patch out there underneath the light.
Ben Lockhart was the man who gave away the free kick for the Eagles. The driving kick in the Kane Murphy direction, just over the top of his head. Eagles have the numbers at the drop of the ball. The old don't argue there from Bohan was absolutely fantastic. The handball went straight up, straight down. And now the players in and around it. Lockhart gets the handball out to some space. The FERNTREE Gully side going forward. Long kick out towards the goal square. Over the back is a couple of players, but it beats them both and goes through for a goal. The third goal of the evening for the FERNTREE Gully side. 3-1-19 to 117. Just trying to locate who that was. I think it might have been Louis Krieger. Through, I don't know why, but I thought that was home and hose off the boot from McLaughlin. It
Certainly flushed it, didn't he?
absolutely got a fair piece of it. So take two here for the Eagles. Last one went straight to the arms of an Eastern Lions player. Goes long again. Opposite just clear the area. That seems to be the game plan from the Eagles. Lockhart over the back. Flicks it through. Now they go inside 50. The Eagles coming out on a fantastic lead.
Oh, what courage.
Chopped across and almost a big collision there. Ryan Pearce did a good job not to split himself in half, coming out hard from the goal square, but quick movement from the footy.
Yep.
Two kicks, it was down the other end, and an open forward line for the Eagles, who seem to have been pretty good at capitalising on this sort of situation. They'll manufacture a shot on goal here if they're true to their form for tonight. And holding the ball decision coming from the umpire, no, decides to ball it up instead.
Seymour, as we mentioned earlier, we do get on their back, but some terrific boundary throwings tonight. Nice and deep, lovely throwings.
It's a better game of footy than that. We have to start talking about the boundary umpires.
Come on,
Russo goes up for the Eagles.
You want to whack him, you got to give him a bit of praise
A
as
long
well.
kick out for the Lions, and a pretty good one in the end, and defeats Nick Noops in the race to the boundary line. The boundary umpire, here we go. Okay, Art, this is where your time to shine here, mate.
Have a look at the technique. It's a lovely throw, and I'm probably going to moz him.
Comes down nice and low, right in front of us here.
He's done
Real
well.
sharp stuff from
That's
the young
why he
man.
gets the night games, the prime times
Exactly
of the football.
right. The Lions have more numbers around the footy, but they can't find a clear possession. Great tackling pressure there from the Eagles player. I think it was Benny Cavara.
Benny Cavara. Good football, Benny Cavara. John, is it?
Chris Waldron it might have been. Now they go forward. Kamira goes backwards to go forward now. Smart kick inside the centre of the ground. 2-on-1 in favour of the Eagles. Eventually the cavalry arrive for the Lions. Jump on this wet yellow Sharon. The umpire pretty happy to let this ball go. Banks is in there for the Lions. Eventually they do get the clearance out through McLaughlin. It was long out towards the scoreboard. A 2-on-2, even number contest here. First one there for the Eagles is Evans. The boundary umpire beats him.
A few plays with hands on hips out there. It's been a high-paced game.
It has been so far, and not a lot of free, uncontested footy, and probably gone about 15-20 minutes here in the second term. It's been, I wouldn't say FERNTREE GULLY have dominated. They kicked the only goal of the quarter, so they've extended their quarter time advantage, but it's been a pretty even game of footy as finally we see some open footy. The umpire's blown a whistle.
Oh, Jesus.
I think umpire was just waiting to see what was going on and whether or not
It would eventuate.
someone took an advantage, but the ball's going to come back into the centre of the ground. Rawlings for FERNTREE GULLY. Plenty of players ahead of the footy calling for it. Patrick Turner overlooks that option and just goes long to nobody. Bounces amongst a big group of players, and eventually the Eastern Lions try to clear out, but an awful turnover, a poor kick.
Yeah, definitely a poor kick there, and Curtis marks the ball just forward of centre. He'll look to go to the fat side, or to the commentary side as well. The numbers are with the Lions. It's a good 4-on-1 here. If they play it smart, they should get out of trouble. The hand pass comes back. He's going to arch the back. He's run a long way, has the play in the defence there. Slews off the side of the boot, and it was a clever kick in the end. It will go the way of Hurd. That big man Hurd just lumps the ball down the line here, just forward of centre. The ball will come out the back here. The numbers are now with the Eagles, although getting on hands and knees is the Lions player. They'll feed the ball back out to Simons. Simons just kicks it along the line once again. No team can get clear possession here, and eventually will go the way of the Eagles. The ball goes through the hands of Want. Again, through a chain of handballs, Want will get it back again, and he'll eventually feed it out wide to Hall. Hall just measures his kick, and it was a clever kick there by Hall. Bit of dry weather footy, but he was confident in his ability, and taking the diving mark there was Tim Simons. He just leans back on the kick, and that is an absolutely insipid effort there by Tim Simons.
Just trying to bite off more than he could chew. I've only seen one bloke who could kick well off the back step, and that was Dougie Hawkins. He could play footy.
That's right. He played a few games in the Lions-looking colours at the end of his career here too.
Certainly did.
As the
I
ball
asked him about it.
thumped out by LaRusso. LaRusso goes inside the forward 50 area. Leading the race for the Lions is Need. That's Brad Need. He soccers the ball out there. Right out the far side is Curtis. So too, again, was Brad Need, but the ball does beat both oncomers and goes out of bounds.
Just falling into that trap again, the Eastern Lions coming out of defence there. The initial one was really good. It was just that next kick.
Certainly was. As the ball resumes play, and a quick kick comes out the way of Darren Murphy, somewhat fortuitously. He thumps the ball to the half-forward position here. Ball was in front of Nick Evans, but he ushers the ball out of bounds. And as I said, there will be quite a few boundary stoppages here tonight here at Fair Park.
6-3-39 the Eagles. They lead the Eastern Lions 3-5-23. It's good to have night footy back in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. It's been a tough slogging contest so far, but the Eastern Lions through Simons get the handball forward. Here comes an uncontested shot on goal. Murphy round the corner on the left boot, absolutely gets it wrong and pushes it to the right hand side. A good passage of play on a night like this that needed to result in a goal as far as the Eastern Lions were concerned, but there's a point. They move to 3-6-24. The visiting side, the FERNTREE GULLY Eagles, 6-3-39. Johnny Cavara kicks to himself, long down the line to a 2-on-1 in favour of the Eagles. Almost taking a fantastic mark there was Curtis. Gets the handball to a teammate in Waldron. Now they're going inside 50. Ant LaRusso on the right boot. He sends it over for a goal. Coast to coast, the FERNTREE GULLY Eagles. That's a fantastic piece of football. 7-3-45 the Eagles. 3-6-24. A game high 21-point margin out here at Fair Park Reserve. And they're just starting to get on top. They're doing the little things right. I think the men in blue and white.
Yeah, no, I think, again, that hurts the Eastern Lions. You feel like they've probably been on top a little bit for the last 5 or 10 minutes, especially around the contest, getting the ball forward. And then they miss an uncontested shot on goal, as you said, Seymour, and it goes straight down the other end and costs them a goal. And that kills you, especially in wet weather on a night like tonight.
Certainly does kill you there, AKR, as the Eagles go coast to coast. The ball comes down and the tap is won by Hurd. They'll thrust the ball inside their forward 50 to the Lions. At the back of the pack, can you soccer it through there? Is it a goal? I believe it is. It's gone the way of Redzic, who kicks his first goal of the game. So Sandor Redzic on the board here for the Lions, and to say that one was needed is an absolute understatement for the Lions.
They've been working hard for the last few minutes, and to get that one back straight away is what they needed. Murphy had a couple of chances to kick goals for the Lions before that, but that's what they wanted to get.
It's direct footy, isn't it, out of the middle, and that's again they had the footy leading up, and the ball spills out the back, and that's what happens on wet nights. The ball spills out the back.
So the perfect riposte there from the Lions.
That was one kick inside forward 50, the next disposal was the kick on goal. So good direct footy from them. It's Hayden de Graaf for the Eastern Lions. Piles this one inside forward 50, much like the last. Front position and standing tall and taking a ripper of a mark is Redzik again. He's going to go back and try and kick his second goal in as many minutes, his second goal for the evening, and get the margin back to just 9 points, which a couple of minutes ago, it looked like the Eagles were threatening to run away with it.
Certainly were.
It's not as like they haven't been getting their hands on the footy, the Eastern Lions. They just haven't been doing this enough.
To capitalise. Redzik does not move the goal umpire. Comes back, puts the two fingers up. There's a goal. It's 2 in a minute for Redzik, 2 in a minute for the Eastern Lions. 9 points the margin here at Fair Park Reserve. Right in the shadows of half time. That's what the game needed. Just going to have a bit of life just breathed into it for us.
What do you reckon, Hurls? Who do you reckon has been some of the Lions' better players getting their hands around the footy? Because they've got their way back into the contest.
They have. It's been the last 2 times. It's been de Graaf whose long kicks out of the centre square, have resulted in the goals.
So 5-6-36 for the Lions. Play the Eagles 7-3-45 as play resumes there. Cowan gets the tap here. Getting his hands on the ball again is de Graaf. He sends it inside forward 50. Did the kick travel the required distance? The umpire said yes, it did. And FERNTREE Gully chop the ball off at the half-back flank there. They'll go wide in towards the Russo direction. Goes over his head, but he's leading in the race is Russo. The ball takes an ugly bounce here. Could have got forced in the back. In fact, the umpire does agree. So a little bit indiscriminate there from the Eastern Lions player. That man being Shane Mercer. And Michael Russo has been prominent in this half, takes the free kick. He goes inboard towards a true centre half forward position through the hands of a bunch of Eastern Lions players. On hands and knees there for the Eagles is Curtis. The ball eventually squirts out to Lockhart. He tries to feed a hand pass out, but it looks like there will be a turnover. And turning that ball over looks to be Lambrick. Lambrick goes to the true centre half forward position. Redzik is there, getting a boot on ball. There is McLaughlin. Daniel McLaughlin kicks his first goal of the game, and the Lions have 3 on the bounce.
It's switched on, hasn't it? Bang, get the ball in the middle of the ground and kick it long.
It certainly is. They've just playing more direct footy, and it's come up with 3 unanswered goals here as they move on to 6-6-46. The Eagles only leading by 3 points, 7-3-45.
6-6-42.
Sorry.
I was just on the maths in my head. I thought that doesn't sound right. No, 6-6-42 to 7-3-45. A great call by you, Andy, and a good piece of football from the Eastern Lions. McLaughlin found himself running into the open goal. It was sharp work from Lambrick right in front of us here. He did a real good job to get that ball going forward. And now, momentum is wearing the old Fitzroy colours. The Eastern Lions in the middle of the ground are applying the tackling pressure. They've got to make it count now. Not too long to go before half-time. The momentum stops when the break comes, a 20-minute break, so they've got to make it count. Maybe even try and find the lead before half-time. Hurd gets the tap down, gets the secondary tap down as well, so good follow-up work from him. But Kamira gets the first possession, coming back in the want direction, got the Channel 9 dots on, gets the footy, wheels around, tries to get through a player, handballs in the Hall direction at his ankles. He's on hands and knees, immediately beset upon by Lockhart. But the Eastern Lions good enough. They get the kick out now through Need. Add to the scoreboard, but just not enough polish. And I think that's the difference between the footy that we're used to seeing in Divisions 1 and 2. That kick, even in these conditions, to a player 20 metres by himself out on the far side, he hits that and then they're off again going forward. But Division 4 footy, we're seeing the stoppages a bit more often.
Certainly are seeing the stoppages a little bit more often. I feel like the team with the silkiest skills might go on to victory here as the ball resumes on the far side of Fair Park Reserve here. The Lions will win the clearance and they'll shift the ball out to Mercer. Mercer doesn't quite get the hand pass. De Graaf tries to evade a tackle. He does. It's De Graaf from 35 metres out directly in front. Has he squeezed it in? Yes, he has. In true Brad Henderson style, he squeezed that ball in for a goal, and the Eastern Lions are 3 points in front. As Seymour said, it's 7-6-48. Play the Eagles 7-3-45.
Seymour, you spoke about that kick there, Darwin. Yeah, it was supposed to take. That's what the Eastern Lions haven't been doing. At least with that kick, they've kicked it 50 metres and it's gone from back 50 to a stoppage on their half-forward flank, and they're able to build from that. And they're beautiful running. I'm not sure who it was, but he ran at the footy, kept it in front of him, and that created the chance. And DeGraaf, geez, he's been terrific.
Yeah, DeGraaf
he's been involved in the last 3 goals.
Just quickly going around the grounds at a Heights reserve, the Mustangs 3-4-23 lead the Rams 2-7-19 at half time, so an absolute slogfest there. And at Bayswater 9-11-65, the Roos lead the scores. The Magpies 3-5-23.
So from the resultant centre bounce, the ball was fed forward from the Eagles, and taking the mark on the true centre half forward position of Fair Park Reserve was Vito LaRusso.
He's already kicked a goal this quarter.
Certainly has there, Seymour. So he'll be looking for his second, directly in front, 35 to 40 metres out. A very deliberate approach here. The goal umpire does a little bit of dancing. Is it touched on the line? The goal umpire says, it's a goal! Great work there from Vito LaRusso, and the Eagles snatch back the lead in pretty much instant fashion here. They'll go to 8-3-51. The Lions 7-6-48.
Cowan, the big fella on the line, he got a hand on it. I think he knew it was over. It was like that LBW appeal when you know they've nicked it. Just a sort of half shout to the umpire.
Yeah, that was an interesting one. There's a few people in the crowd giving a bit of mouth there, but I thought that was a fair enough decision.
No, it looked like it was over from my point of view, and if the big fella Cowan couldn't get a hand on it, no one was going to get near it. So a good finish from LaRusso, and a good answer for the FERNTREE Gully Eagles, who take the lead back in the shadows of half-time here at Fair Park Reserve. Footy's back in the Eastern Football League under lights, and it's fantastic. It's a good game of footy. Justin Murphy, the only bloke out there with AFL experience, traps the football, goes around on the left boot, and real measured, real sharp stuff from him.
Can't let another one come through here, the Lions.
I get the feeling that if we see a goal here before half-time to either side, it's going to go some way to how the third quarter is going to start. Lawson gets the handball out to Calaguiri, goes to Lockhart. Rawlings it was. It's to Barn. Now the FERNTREE Gully side are scrapping. Now it's their turn. Momentum's maybe wearing blue and white, but just for the minute. Plenty of players leading the race for the footy, but it's the Eastern Lions through Landwick. Justin Murphy trying to mop up across half-back. Everybody just following this football. Under 10 style stuff out there at the moment. Lawson, a one-handed pick up and gather when everyone else is struggling. He's going to get a free kick for a push in the back, which is a little bit fortuitous, but if you're first in the footy and you make the play, you're going to get rewarded, so I don't mind it. Phil Lawson. The Josh Thurgood of the Eastern Football League. Finds Murphy. Stops and props.
Kick.
Goes inboard, finds Nick Noops.
There's that AFL experience there from Justin Murphy.
Noops, under 19 grand final player from last year, goes wide out on the wing.
Hold on.
And DeGraaf, his kick is ill-directed out to the half-forward flank for a boundary throw-in on the left-hand side here. The broadcast side of Fair Park Reserve here this evening.
Another good kick, though. He hasn't tried to find a handball there where there wasn't. He's just got the ball forward for the Lions.
Yep, I think he was trying to get obviously a little bit more laterally, but off the side of the boot. But it's in a good position here. This is where they've been good so far this quarter. Stoppage situations at half-forward. The Lions haven't been too bad. Landrick, Temple. Chimera for the Eagles. Switches it inboard. Gets Curtis. Goes to Lawson. Goes out in front of the scoreboard again to Murphy. He just slows it down. Must be getting some sort of directives from the coach's box as to how long's left. It's a 3-point lead to the Eagles so far. Murphy just plays the percentages and goes long down the line. Almost taking a big mark there was Curtis. Follows up his own work, but Lawson, who's been the player to watch so far in the second quarter, picks it up, goes long into the centre half forward, backing back, not taking the mark there was Want, but the kick goes inside 50 for the Eagles and just to the right-hand side of the big stick from Johnny Cavara, whose roving work off the pack was fantastic from him, and they get a point, the Eagles. So 4 points now to them in the shadows of half-time.
So James Hall gets the kick in, goes laterally, and eventually they chip the ball away, and it ends up in the hands of Matthew Eddy. Matthew Eddy on the half-back position, far side half-back of Fair Park Reserve, just stops and props, waits for the leads to come, does the discipline thing, goes along the line to a big pack of players there. Getting his hands on the ball for the Eagles is Godfrey, and he sees the ball out of bounds.
Hurle, it's amazing how the composure's come a little bit from the Lions there, being able to just have a couple of chip kicks and then go long.
Yeah, that's right. All they needed to do was just go back to basics and just get the ball long, they've got the targets up there, and they've managed to kick the last couple of goals.
So Redzic got the initial clearance there. He found Kane Murphy. Kane Murphy was beset upon, and his hand pass was ill-directed, and once again we'll have another boundary throw-in. So we're just forward of centre here for the Eastern Lions on the far wing. Two ruckmen go at it. Noops couldn't quite get his hands to the ball there. Trying to soccer off the ground there is Mitch Need. Players getting dumped in the tackle there. The ball eventually gets fed out to Justin Murphy. He'll get the hand pass out and eventually finds its way to Lawson. Lawson with a left foot kick up the line. Once again, he's ill-directed. The Lions will kick back from whence it came. On the half-forward position, ball comes to the ground, and it's the Eagles that will mop up, and they'll kick towards the true centre half-forward position. It was a massive kick there, but James Hall taking the mark at the back of the pack there for the Lions. Both
sides obviously being directed to play the coach's box wing for some reason. The ball just tends to hang out there, and there's the half-time siren. So a fantastic half of footy to welcome back night footy in the Eastern Football League. A fantastic quarter of footy from the Eastern Lions, who with 21 points down at one stage, fought back well to take the lead. 8-4-52 the FERNTREE Gully side, 7-6-48 the Eastern Lions. Back to the Eastern Radio Eastern 98.1 FM studios. I'm hoping Dyson Baker's found his way in there by now. We'll be back after a few messages from the sponsors.
The inside of a cake can have many layers. On the outside, it's hidden behind a coat of icing. But when you cut out a slice, all is exposed. At Tobin Brothers Funerals, nothing is hidden. Our website and Memory Maker app make it clear for families to make informed decisions about planning a funeral for a loved one. That's an example of how Tobin Brothers Funerals is taking transparency to new levels. Find out more at tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Ask where our hot dogs are. Our hot dogs.
It's difficult to see through a dirty window, but once you clean it, you can clearly see the view. Tobin Brothers Funerals is just like a clean window.
Pancake Parlour and warm up with a delicious hot marshmallow chocolate.
Oh, it's made with pure Belgian chocolate, seriously decadent.
Oh, Pancake Parlour, open 24 hours, High Point, Malvern and Doncaster East.
Lovely. Program sponsor.
Welcome back to EFL Game Night. My name is Dyson Baker. Welcome back into the Eastern Football League studios, just down the road from Fair Park Reserve in Baronia. It's half-time at our EFL Game Night match of the night. Just looking through a couple of the scores that are coming through from around the grounds. There's a couple of night games that are going on across the Eastern Football League. Obviously tonight's Eastern Lions game versus the FERNTREE Gully Eagles, as well as Murrelbach taking on East Burwood out at the Heights Reserve in Murrelbach. And the other game going on across the Eastern Football League is, of course, the clash between Bayswater and Scoresby, and we'll bring you those results. A quarter-time a half-time update. I've got a bit of a hard slog out at the Heights. It's Murrelbach 3-4-22, East Burwood 2-7-19, so that game's certainly in the balance. And an update score coming through from Bayswater. Bayswater 9-11-65, kept scoreless during that last term. Scoresby 3-5-23. So plenty of people enjoying Saturday night football as for first time in a long time across the Eastern Football League. So make sure you stay tuned to us. Big second half of action coming up. While we wait for the boys back back out at Fair Park Reserve, we might go through a faux Bendigo Bank Saturday night scoreboard. Obviously we missed it with the crossover between the two grounds this evening, but we'll go through it now just with some quick scores and then an update of the ladder, and then once we finish all the games across the Eastern Football League, we'll wrap every game up right across the Eastern Football League, give you an update of where each side is at after 3 rounds of EFL football. We'll start in Division 1, and South Croydon 18-7-1-15 defeated Blackburn 13-12-90. Knox 8-16-64 defeated East Ringwood 5-8-38. Montrose 15-13-103 defeated Lilydale 8-9-57. Norwood 14-6-90 defeated Noble Park 10-10-70. Roval, a big win out at Quamby Reserve, 21-8-134 defeated the previously undefeated North Ringwood, who had 24 scoring shots but could only manage 4-20-44. And of course the draw between Vermont and Baldwin. Vermont just unable to hold on in the dying seconds, 12-9-81 apiece, which means that the Division 1 ladder looks as such. Vermont and Baldwin, with that draw, they actually go both to the top of the Division 1 ladder with 10 points each. followed in third position by Noble Park with 8 points, Rover with 8 points, Knox round out the 5 with 8 points, and North Ringwood are in 6th position. They have 2 wins. South Croydon with their draw last week, they sit in 7th position, 1-1-1. Montrose are 1-2 with 4 points. So too Norwood in 9th with their win, and Blackburn in 10th. East Ringwood sit in 11th spot with their 2 points that they took away from last week's draw with South Croydon, and Lilydale the only side yet to open their account in season 2015 in Division 1. In Division 2, it was a comfortable win in the end. Croydon, they got over the line pretty comprehensively against Mulgrave by the tune of 90 points, 122 to 30, 19-8, 122 to 5-8, 32 Mulgrave. In our radio game this afternoon, thanks to the Pancake Parlour, Doncaster East 10-9-69 defeated with the Waverley Blues 9-12-66. A goal from Nick Batsanis in the dying seconds, getting them over the line. An update score from Bayswater 9-13-67. Their leading Scoresby 3-5-23. And unfortunately, the Doncaster-Wantirna South game was called a draw after a player went down with a broken leg late in the third term. It was I think it was a fairly long wait for an ambulance, so the game was eventually called off. Both sides will take 2 points out of that with 38 points apiece, which means that the Division 2 ladder looks as such. As I just loaded up on the computer, Croydon sit undefeated at the top of the table as expected, percentage of 248. Wantirna South will, the Waverley Blues and Doncaster East will both sit with 8 points. Wantirna South and Doncaster will both have 6 points each as we move down to 6. So Doncaster East in 4th spot, Waverley Blues in 5th, Doncaster in 6th. Scoresby, East Burwood, Mooroolbark and Mooroolbark and Bayswater still yet to finalise their games, so the Division 2 ladder still up in the air a little bit. Division 3 results from this afternoon. We might just read through some of these results. Templestowe 12-9-81 defeated Chenside Park 7-3-45. It was an 18-point win to Park Orchards over Sylvan. The Basin 18-10-118 defeated Heathmont 5-4-34. North Ringwood 18-17-125 defeated Whitehorse Pioneers 3-7-25. Upper Ferntree Gully 10-6-66 defeated Boronia 6-10-46.
That was a big game too.
Mitcham 16-12-108 defeated South Belgrave 10-13-73. And in Division 4, some interesting games right across. It's great to see the Glen Waverley Hawks get by 5 points in a close affair. 15-11-113 Forest Hill defeated Donvale 4-3-27. Donvale yet to open their account in season 2015. Nunawading had a big win over Surrey Park. An interesting game out at Warrandyte Reserve, 14-9-93. They defeated Kilsyth 10-9-69. And the final game left is the Eastern Lions taking on FERNTREE Gully. And this one's going to be quite an interesting clash. It started beautifully, but boys, it's back to you out at EFL Game Night. Eastern Lions taking on FERNTREE Gully.
Thanks a lot there, Dyson. And it's as good a time as any to kickstart the night edition of the halftime Pie Shed talk show. And as I said, the Pie Shed's pies are absolutely delicious, combining fresh meats and vegetables with just the right combinations of herbs and spices. The Pie Shed offers over 40 varieties of pies with a reputation as second to none. See Mark and the team at 295 Canterbury Road, Bayswater, or call 9720 7711.
Well, Mark, if you're listening, mate, bring us down a couple of pies. It's a beautiful night for a pie.
Would be absolutely lovely. Great suggestion there by AKR. Right on the spot here, and we are right on the spot here at Fair Park Reserve. That we've seen a pretty entertaining first half of footy. The Eagles are leading that one 8-4-52 to Eastern Lions 7-6-48. So just the slender 4-point lead there after enjoying a 10-point quarter-time lead. So the Lions were inching back. Hurle, I'll start with you. Just thought the way the FERNTREE Gully side attacked the footy in the first quarter and their directness really taught a lesson to how wet weather footy should be played to the Eastern Lions.
That's right, Andy. As kids, we're always taught just if it's wet weather, it's just, don't fiddle around with it. Just kick it long, direct, just straight down the guts. And that's what they were doing because, both sides have shown that, if you play direct football, get it in there, you've got the key targets, you can score.
Yeah, that's right. And I think with the Lions especially, it's like a bit of a light switch clicked or something like that in their head halfway through that second quarter, because they're starting to move it. They got the ball in the middle, and at times in the first term and the first quarter and a half, they're trying to go wide or look for someone running past, and they got the ball in the middle of the ground. They got it down there, and they got a lot of creativity down that forward half. I mean, there was guys down there. Obviously, Banks. We saw him rove that pack beautifully. And
yeah,
he loves the goal as well. So there's plenty of guys down there. We saw Hayden de Graaf through the middle, and then also go forward and look dangerous as well. So there's plenty of attacking threat there for them. It's just getting the ball down there.
That's right. Darren Murphy as well. They've got him down there. He actually had a couple of opportunities to kick goals that he probably normally would have kicked. So they've only got more improvement in the Lions, but as I said, I thought Hurd started to get his hands on the ball in the middle. It was just the second half of that second quarter. He got the ball down, and it was, to de Graaf, long bombs into the forward line, either to Redzak or to the top of the square, and it creates a 50-50, and they managed to get a goal out of it.
They've got so many players they can push through the ruck as well, the Lions, and I think that's something huge. I mean, I think for the whole first quarter, Hurd was pretty much the lead out full forward. Didn't go in the ruck at all, and then I think it might have even been at the start. Did Cowan even start in the ruck?
He did
at the start, and then I don't think he was seen after his first hit out in the ruck. It was more Bailey going in there and doing the work.
Well, that's why Nick Cowan dropped back and sort of played that spare man in defence, and to somewhat good effect. As I said, the Lions started fairly slowly, and the Eagles sort of were just playing a better brand of wet weather footy, I suppose, and their skills were cleaner. As I said, players like LaRusso have really shown, Michael Russo as well, Justin Murphy, just those clever little kicks over the top. They're not trying to overuse the handball, which I think was very critical in the early stages of this game. But yeah, once the Lions sort of caught on to how this brand of footy should be played, they really made it an even money contest.
No, they did, and I think that's been the great thing about the game, and it'll be positive for the Lions that going in at half time that they're able to swap over and come back into the game, because sometimes you find in wet weather games, if you leave it too long and you switch on too late, you're already 5 or 6 goals down and the game's over. But they were able to come back and attack and show that they can kick goals quickly.
Well, the game is certainly not over. We've got a half of footy left to play, plenty of footy to ensue, and as we can obviously tell, a 4-point margin, it's anybody's game. Hurle, I'll start with you. How do you think the rest of the game will play out?
Well, from the second half, it looked like the Lions were getting on top. So if they can continue to just play direct football, straight down the guts, don't try and go sideways, because they've got the big guys up there with Redzak. If he can get his hands onto it, and then you've got the Crummers, Banks, Want. They'll create opportunities.
They are marking the ball too, the big guys.
Yeah, Murphy's taking them.
It's not. It's certainly not a case where let's just get it down to them. Reds have took a couple of beauties in that second quarter.
Their handling's been pretty spectacular thus far.
And they're kicking towards their club room end. So we saw in the first quarter that they were having shots from well outside the 40 metre line, and they were going back and kicking them goalpost high.
So let's focus a little bit on the FERNTREE Gully side. They've obviously built upon their built their game upon their lead at the half time here, and players like as I said, I think LaRusso, Kavara, who else has been pretty prominent? I would have thought that
Lawson,
Lawson, and Kamira too.
Kamira's definitely been quite good. Guiri as well. So they've certainly or even Aitken as well. So they've certainly had plenty of contributors. What would you, if you were the coach of FERNTREE Gully, what would you be saying to the boys at half time?
Look, I think it's a learning experience too for FERNTREE Gully. There's a lot of young guys in that side. I mean, as good a footy they're playing and as good they are, it's something that they're going to have to learn at senior footy. Playing against guys that are experienced. We spoke about Johnny Kavara. As I said, I'm pretty sure he's a first year under 19. So we're talking about a 17-year-old boy who's been a terrific footballer in this first half, especially for the FERNTREE Gully side. So it's going to be a bit of a learning experience for them. Close game, be challenging wet weather. Can they hold on and win a game of footy?
Do you think with that's why they've got Murphy at half back to try and set him up, use his smarts? And as I said, we've seen a couple of times his AFL experiences come to the fore.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's 100%. I mean, look, one thing that you do find in Division 4 is sometimes you do find that the effort's 100% there. they're always going in having a crack. It can be those polished skills and the decision making, and especially with the young side as well. I mean, you see some of those younger guys, they've got terrific skills, Kavara and those boys, terrific. But like you said, with Murphy, with his experience, hopefully he can direct the ship a little bit for them off halfback.
Yeah, Justin Murphy certainly does show that experience, and if I was a coach, I certainly would be playing him in the back half. Justin Murphy, incidentally, turned 39 yesterday, so he's very much a stalwart of the game, and
looks a little bit fitter than last year too.
He actually looks like he's had a fairly solid pre-season, and he's certainly dominating from the back half of the Eagles.
Would you move him onto the ball if the game got tighter?
I personally wouldn't. I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it, so to speak. I mean, as I said, with Rawlings and Aitken in their Kavara, as we mentioned, they've got enough firepower. If Luke McComb can get back into the game as well, Lawson showing a bit off the wing there too. So they've got enough contributors. Look, I mean, if push comes to shove, it's certainly a move that you could consider. But I think just playing the quarterback role and just steadying the ship down back, I think is where Justin Murphy plays his best footy at this stage of his career. So from here now, guys. Look, the teams are both out here. I mean, doesn't look like there are any sort of injury concerns at this stage. I suppose we should speak about the fitness as well. In wet weather football, how much more of a bearing does it play against, say, a game of footy where the conditions are a little bit more clear?
I suppose Hurle is probably a bit more qualified to speak about this, playing a lot more football than me. But having a look in this first half, they've been going hard at it. Like, it's been a high-paced game of footy, so it'd be interesting to see how the fitness is of these boys in the second half.
So they haven't shirked an issue. There's contests galore, and it's great to see. You come down and watching Division 4, and then, under lights, Anzac Day. So boys are putting on a show.
How hard is it to run out a game in a game like this where it's hard, wet, tough, compared to maybe on a dry day where you're able to find the space and maybe mark the ball a little bit more and stop and slow the game down, I suppose.
Yeah, well, it could be one of two, basically. As you said, you can either slow it down, but then when it's wet, slippery, you're more likely you might be able to turn the ball over. But as you said, it rained for most of that second quarter, but I think the Lions kicked 3 in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, pretty much 3 on the trot, 3 in 3 minutes, and then they looked like they had all the momentum. So there's plenty of upside. Look, I mean, fitness is always going to play a part of every game of footy, but I think on these occasions where it is a bit dark and damp and just a little bit tough on the bodies as well.
A bit dark. The light comes into it.
There we go. He's just come in. He just comes in and picks on everybody, Seymour.
That's it.
The Pulley, it bloody looked good around in the huddle on Wednesday night. The hot dogs and beers.
Everything. I haven't seen it.
Wasted away to nothing in the caravan.
Oh, I never lost the power too. But it'd be interesting to see. I reckon there's a bit more structure in the FERNTREE Gully side, but more creativity in the Eastern Lions. So who are we going to go from here?
I almost tend to think that the FERNTREE Gully boys might run this one out. I think their fitness might be a little bit better, but it's saying the tougher bodies of the Eastern Lions could prevail. So it's, as I said, it's an even money bet. I'm tempted to change my tip, but we'll see how we go.
And if we go back to last week, FERNTREE Gully had that tough game out at Warrandyte, where the Lions they had an easier win up at Surrey Park. So we'll see how they go.
For one of the better term, I'm not sure this is an Eastern Lions side that knows how to win these games. They've perennially won their 5 or 6 games for the year against the sides in and around them on the ladder. They wouldn't have found themselves in a position like this against a good, strong, hard-bodied Division 4 side the FERNTREE Gully are. So maybe tonight's the night that they break those shackles and take away the 4 points and sing the song, or maybe FERNTREE Gully, like the script might read, just run away with a 15-20 point win, and it's going to be a hard, close fought game. I'm not really sure what to think or how it's going to go. What I do know is the first goal of this third quarter is absolutely crucial, and Caden Murphy goes to the top of the goal square to Gareth Bailey, who drops a contested mark and eventually sees the ball through for a rush behind. But that would have been a dream start for the Eastern Lions as this third quarter gets underway.
I'll tell you what, I really like Redzik. He's actually got light on his feet for a big bloke in front of the commentary box. You'd like that.
Yeah, exactly right, and always good when the action's right out here in front of us. On this occasion, though, it rebounds out to the far side and then comes back into the middle of the ground. The graph goes up, and coming up over the back about 4 deep was Kane Murphy, who was waiting in line and cashed in his ticket before he was ready, and comes up, takes a great contested mark, and this to give the Eastern Lions the lead in the early stages of the third quarter. It will be his third goal of the evening.
Hurley's already marked it down. He reckons he's a beautiful kick for goal. He's not going to miss this one.
Top of the left-hand post on his left boot. Kane Murphy rolls it home. That's a fantastic finish from here and a great start to the quarter for the Eastern Lions. 3 on the board. It just snuck in the end. Hurle was reaching for the wide out, the liquid paper. The great start to the Eastern Lions to start this third term. They move to, I think that will be a 2-point lead.
Yeah, 8-6-54, playing 8-4-52.
And again, as that's what we were talking about, quick kicks in there, and they've got the guys that can take the marks.
Well, they set up beautifully, and then banged it in, and those big boys, that's terrific side. He's like a left arm out swinger, Seymour, for you. He just hugs that post, doesn't he? He just hugs it.
Just moves it all. Yeah, they're dangerous, mate. 9.
You were saying you'd whip that down to fine leg in this game.
Oh, of course, mate. Yeah, an 8-1 offside field with that sort of delivery.
Okay, Murphy's definitely bowling from this side of the field. All 3 goals have been kicked to this side of the screen. As the play resumes, and the Eastern Lions are going to thrust this ball inside forward 50, this time by the handball. Leading the race for the Eagles is Waldron. He soccers the ball towards the boundary side. The Lions do have the numbers. Could have got a push in the back, was the Lions player, and the umpire indeed has agreed. So it is a push in the back. Does go the way of Murphy. That is Jaden Murphy. The ball goes inside forward 50. Kane Murphy's there, almost takes the mark. The hand pass comes across to the Lawson direction. Instead, it's going to be Noops who gets the kick outside of his defensive 50. Goes to the true wing position here. The Lions have a 2-on-1. They should sort this out here. The ball is eventually socked out there from the Lions. They'll feed it up to the half-forward position. It's a 3-on-2 contest here. Wanting the ball more is Mitch Need. In fact, I apologise, it was Prowse.
Great job.
Yeah, great work there by Prowse. And he didn't end up with the ball, but he eventually laid the tackle there and has forced the stoppage just inside the forward 50 for the Lions. Big man goes up in Hurd, gets the tap, doesn't go to anyone in particular. Players on hands and knees trying to get that crucial handball out. And the umpire will call for a secondary stoppage.
It's funny how the shoe's on the other foot with the fumbles around the contest now, isn't it?
Yeah, they just seem to be playing more direct footy now, the Eastern Lions. They've taken the nonsense out of this and just gone back to the basics of beelining the footy, making the sharing your only objective, kicking long down the line, playing smart, wet weather Division 4 football. There's no prizes for being too cute in a competition like this. You just need to get a win. Phil Lawson wins the footy as he runs away from the stoppage, drops the footy, wasn't done holding the ball because there was no tackle actually laid. Now the FERNTREE Gully side are just composed enough to clear this ball out of defensive 50, but drop them a mark at half back. Now the Eastern Lions looking again. Fantastic tackle from Lawson. He's going to get not paid holding the ball, but had plenty of time to get rid of that footy. I think the play there was Matty Kamira.
Again, they've been able to lock it in though, boys. The Eastern Lions have just been able to lock it inside that forward 50.
Just a turnover central here at Fair Park Reserve this evening. Not a lot of clear footy going on as there's an uncontested shot at goal and he rolls it home. The Eastern Lions 2 in a row. A fantastic goal and a fantastic finish from Jaden Murphy, who gets one on the board for the Lions. That's a great start to the quarter by them. The margin out to 10 points, boys. Great stuff from the home side.
Yeah, the home side, they've just dominated this start of this third quarter. I don't think FERNTREE Gully's got the ball past their halfway mark.
No, they haven't.
And AKR, you'll be excited to know that Gold Coast trailed by 52 points against GWS, and your man Jack Martin, who you were telling me about in your Supercoach team, was subbed off at half time.
He's turned his phone off.
With a dodgy ankle. Jeremy Cameron, 2 goals, 5 for the Giants. That could be a lot nastier.
Yeah, let's not talk about it.
So we'll talk about the footy at the Fair Park Reserve here. The ball comes out to the near wing side, socket off the ground there by Tristan Curtis, and that will go out of bounds in the half forward position. Going towards the FERNTREE Gully side. This is as far forward as they've been thus far in this half.
I shouldn't tell you things, Seymour, anymore.
No.
Yeah, never get too close to Seymour. Find a way to pick on you. The perennial bully of the EFL Media Team.
Deflect the tension away from me.
The ball comes down, getting the 1-2 for the Eagles is Allison. They don't retain possession, and it's the Lions who will come away with it. The ball goes very wide. It's a very poor kick there, and Cowan not too happy with that one. The free kick will go the way of the Eagles, and it's Justin Murphy here, right in front of us here at the commentary caravan, just trying to settle things down. He'll go for the short pass. Wasn't a bad kick, but under these conditions, the mark wasn't taken. The Lions will get the turnover and they force a short kick to Gareth Bailey. Gareth Bailey wastes no time, opens up the switch here. Hand pass comes over the top. Getting the ball here is Lambrick. Lambrick just not enough time there to get a kick on the boot. Banks is trying to force his way through traffic, unable to do so. The turnover will come for the FERNTREE Gully, or does it? Now they've got the 2-on-1 contest, a little bit of soccer going on here. Eventually the ball is squirted out by Jaden Murphy. He can't find a clear target here. Going to hands and knees is Godfrey for the Eagles. And eventually the ball gets rushed through, or does it? No. The ball is kept in by Russo. Through handball now. They're in the back pocket here. Just a short chip kick. And the play should slow down. Great work there in defence by the Eagles. And it's Chris Waldron who takes the mark there. He just measures his kick to Murphy. Just inside the defensive 50 is Murphy. Kick. And there it is, that skill level that we've come to see over 4 AFL clubs there for Justin Murphy. His kick found the way of Krieger. And now they're on here are the Eagles. They get the ball here through Waldron. It's continued running. They go to the full forward position and taking the mark. And a great chest mark, just reading the play better for the Eagles. Looks to be McComb.
Ryan Pearce.
It's Ryan Pearce. Thank you, boys.
I'm going to call him Special C because I'm not even going to try and pronounce it. Number 2 for the FERNTREE Gully Eagles. He had the ball chipped to him in the back pocket there, and he was the one who kicked it to...
That's it. Waldron.
Chris Waldron.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, number yeah.
In the meantime, we've got Pearce here. Shoots for goal.
He missed it.
And he's absolutely shanked. In fact, has it... It's grazed the behind post, has it?
I think the goal umpire's pulled a string.
What has he done here? The umpires converge, and we will get a decision here. And it's a behind, so disappointing result there.
It looked like he pulled a hammy to pull goal.
Yeah, sorry about that. Waldron, he was on actually passed the ball to Murphy and continued to run, so he probably ran about 150 metres there.
Just starting to trying to put a stamp on this one. He had 4 or 5 touches in that play. There's a big kick from the Eastern Lions. It finds Cowan at the back, who just reverse corkscrew punt inside 50 to Murphy. Gets the handball off to a teammate. There's a flying shot on goal for the Eastern Lions. And it's just gone to the right-hand side.
Jaden Murphy.
Jaden Murphy, the man. So coast to coast there from the Eastern Lions, who have done all the running so far here in the second half at Fair Park Reserve. Long left foot kick from Cavara, ill-directed, straight to Hurd. Cole Hurd had a good day, the big man, ill-directed in going inside forward 50. Turnovers are plenty so far here in the third term.
The great man's come through too, by the way.
Yeah, there's the food just coming into the caravan here. Andy, I might let you take the call for the next half an hour. You absolutely get stuck into it.
Practice makes perfect, so I might as well get a little bit of practice in as Seymour stuffs his face with food. Got the hot dog in his hands already. Looking pretty warm and looking pretty sharp here at Fair Park Reserve.
Jeez, he was quick.
Yeah, certainly was there.
Arms reach over there, Seymour.
That's it.
Just quickly, boys, for FERNTREE Gully, they can hold off this Eastern Lions dominance in this quarter. It could be a match-winning hold-off here. They've only kicked the 1 goal.
Just got to stem the flow here. Noops gets the initial touch here. Getting out of tackle there when the ball wasn't really possessed. There was Kyle Hurd. The umpires let it go. And there will be a secondary stoppage. So the rain is pretty much held off here now. The conditions are just getting ever so slightly easier as the pass comes down once again. It's going to be the Lions that get the quick kick out there. Reading it well in defence is the Eagles player. That man is Evans. He gets the defensive hand pass. So a little bit of retreating. The old 1 step forward to 2 steps back. Not a lot on here for the Eagles.
Good composure by Waldron.
It was a good composure by Waldron. His kick is a little indirected, but they still could get away with it, the Lions. In fact, will they? He gets a hand pass out, but it's gone straight to the Lions playing DeGraff. DeGraff usually pretty handy with possession here. He's fed the ball out to Murphy.
At centre half forward, Murphy. It just goes long inside forward 50 with a reverse corkscrew punt. Bounces at the feet of a FERNTREE Gully defender who does well to smother that ball into the deck. And the Eastern Lions force a stoppage.
And
15 metres out directly in front.
Sorry, Seymour. Just quickly, Bayswater have won their first game under lights. They've run out winners 11-16-82 to Scoresby 5-7-37.
Will Taylor will be absolutely stoked with that. The Eagles get first possession out of the stoppage to McComb. Goes to Lockhart. He goes down to the wing. Just pushing the back. We're not getting the free kick there. Was Vito LaRusso. And there's a boundary throw in on the far side here at Fair Park Reserve. Enjoying your hot dogs, boys?
Yeah, sorry.
Real professional work from us in here this evening.
So the ball comes out here. It's come out the back end. It's the Eastern Lions who are going to be thrusting their way inside forward 50.
Gareth Bailey, for such a big man, he hasn't done a lot. He keeps finding himself in the back position. He seems just to be a bit slow. from mine.
She should turned it over again.
It certainly has.
Blocking it in beautifully. It's scored the Eastern Lions.
It's going to be the Lions that just kick it back from whence it came here.
It's a fist.
Bad spoil there, but the umpire has.
done?
Yeah, the umpire's called a free kick here. It's a push in the back. That was a certain goal to the Eastern Lions. So
questionable. I don't even know whether he touched him there.
Perhaps a little contentious. Perhaps he played for a little bit. Either way, the free kick will go the way of the Eagles, and very much a relieved FERNTREE Gully side.
That was almost criminal from Justin Murphy there. The old double fist in the wet conditions, sliding off the fist out the back.
Looked like he just went under the ball a little bit there, and the old double fisted just ended up.
What do you think, Seymour?
Seymour stuffs his face there. Either way, the free kick will go the way of the 39-year-old Murphy. As I said, turned 39 yesterday.
What's he doing? Not playing AFL with Dustin Fletcher.
Yeah, that's it. Dustin Fletcher kicking a nice goal from well outside 50 on Anzac Day in the MCG. Anyway, back at Fair Park Reserve here, we'll see the Eastern Lions again go inside 50. It's a better kick there, taking it on the second occasion. Great effort there from the Eastern Lions player. He'll get the quick chip kick out here, very wide. Too wide for Darren Murphy.
He would have been better just to go to the top of the square. Redzak's up there.
That's it. And he would be there one-on-one as well. And
just don't get too fancy, and the Lions are on top here, and they're just getting a little bit of that fanciness about their game that I wasn't too impressed with early.
That's certainly right there. Couldn't have called it better myself.
Terrific.
Pick comes out.
Great work by McLaughlin. He loved it off the boot too. Absolutely loved it. He put the arms up in the air. There's a great goal. 3 goals in a row to start the third quarter for the Eastern Lions. That is fantastic stuff for the home side and the crowd. There's a big buzz out here. Went outside of the caravan at half time. There's a throng of people. There's some live music being played. It is the place to be out here in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne tonight.
There's a big double cobra too when he got the job done. That was quite nice out of the pack there, Samuel.
That certainly was. Real sharp stuff from the big fella. In the clinches, it's always good to see a big man get a quick snap away like that from a stoppage.
Sold a bit of candy too. I like that.
So we'll resume. We're underway here. Ball comes up, not even a bounce, just a throw here at Fair Park Reserve, considering the conditions there. McComb looking to get his hands on the ball. The umpire will call it for a secondary bounce or secondary throw. Right in the centre square, big pack of players converge around the footy. Both players go at it. Looks like Patrick Turner won the initial hit out there. The Eagles are really starved of inside 50s this third term, but nothing doing. It's going to be another stoppage here. It's probably going to suit the Lions with the lead that they have.
Let's start thinking about a third man up here for FERNTREE Gully. Just did not get it forward.
Yeah, Hurd's dominating. He just keep pushing the ball forward.
So the ball comes out here, and the Lions are certainly on here. The kick comes from Lambrick, and just under enough attention there from the FERNTREE Gully defender, and the ball has been disappointingly kicked out on the full.
They're right on top now, the Eastern Lions. There's absolutely no doubt about it. They're getting first hands on the footy at every single stoppage. The way they're moving the ball is much better than the way the FERNTREE Gully side is. They've settled here in this second half, and it's going a long way to getting a match-winning lead here in the third quarter. As McComb for FERNTREE Gully sells a little bit of candy. It kicks the ball straight to an opposing player. Gets to Prowse. Handballs back to Want. Puts the footy under his arm. And low stabbing ball to centre half forward at the bootlaces of Landwick.
Oh, he's on.
Handballs across a running shot from the pocket from the big fella. It's just on the wrong side. Oh, great work by Big Matty Eddie. We got the handball from a teammate in Hayden de Graaf, who was instrumental in that Eastern Lions fight back in the second quarter.
How's Jason Want, boys? I don't think he likes to take a mark and go back behind him. He gets it and just takes off every time.
He does.
Unbelievable.
Murphy, why wouldn't you give the kick-ins to the bloke with AFL experience? His foot skills are absolutely exquisite.
They are.
And he finds Jimmy Bowen.
Oh.
He's called the play on. It's the bloke on the mark is absolutely perplexed by what happened there. And great courageous mark, backing back with the flight of the ball. Now the Eastern Lions push it back inside 50 again. Murphy coming up with the double fist for the Eagles was Johnny Cavara. On hands and knees at ground level, Gareth Bailey for the Eastern Lions. And that yellow Sharon is not going anywhere. That waterlogged yellow Sharon that probably represents more like a bar of soap than a football at the moment. So throw up. Inside forward 50 for the Lions. Bursting his way through was Prowse, unable to get boot on ball. Mopping up there the Eagles. Jumping on top of that player was James Hall. And Tim Simon's also in there for the Eastern Lions, who are pushing hard for their 4th consecutive goal. They currently lead this one 10-7-67 to 8-5-53, I think that says. Hard work seeing the scoreboard out here.
Yeah, you're right there. Yep, 68 to 53, 15-point lead to the Lions.
68 to 53. Should have gone to Specsavers out here tonight.
Thankfully, I've got them on, but I went to OPSM.
Handball from Eddie over to Lambrick, who couldn't quite get a handle on that pill. The FERNTREE Gully side, you just feel they're just hanging on at the moment.
Yeah, just hanging on. If another goal was kicked before the three-quarter time siren, it might get a little bit dicey. I mean, there's still plenty of time to play here, but you get the feeling that the Eastern Lions are trying to put pedal to the metal here and pretty much put this game to bed, as the free kick will go the way of the home side, and the recipient of the free kick is Daniel McLaughlin. He'll surely put the ball right in the hot spot there. There's a 2-on-1 with Redsitch and Temple. And McLaughlin might fancy his chances here. So he's hemmed up against the boundary line on the far side of Fair Park Reserve. Kicks it absolutely flush, if you don't mind, Daniel McLaughlin. And he has slotted his third goal for the game. That is an absolutely exquisite finish. And they extend the lead to 21 points, 11-8-74 to 8-5-53. Hurler.
Yeah, they're just dominating possession, the Lions, at the moment. Even if the ball comes back out of the forward 50, they've just set up so well across that half forward through the centre line, and the ball's just going back in there. They've got the targets up there, they're taking the grabs, and yeah, they're probably about a goal or two from putting this one to bed, maybe.
The issue is Murphy's taking the first kick. The first kick's hitting the target.
Yeah,
it's the next one.
Yeah,
and that's maybe where he needs to get on his bike a little bit and try and get the hand pass going past and try and get it over that wall.
Real sharp stuff seeing the uprise of the Eastern Lions Football Club this evening at Prowse. Gets a handball across to De Graaf, who's absolutely dumped in a tackle, and the umpire says, "You had enough time, son." That's hold the ball. Gives a little bit of curry after the fact, and there's a 50-metre penalty. Craig Waldron.
But as you don't mind that when you take him on, obviously the confidence is up, so, if he had a broken free, he might have been able to have a shot on goal.
This is what we spoke about with the Lions, the creativity they've got, and you don't want to take that away, but at the same time, as long as they're playing disciplined footy when they need to.
And finally, the Eagles get a kick forward of centre, and is an absolute floater, finger breaker, mongrel-looking thing that didn't go anywhere. And the Eastern Lions were going to be good enough to get the ball back. McLaughlin in a one-on-one with Krieger. The young man does exceptionally well. Stands up tall, gets the handball back to Aitken.
Well done.
And now here's some slower footy. The big fella, Godfrey. That's not a bad kick. It's a Kavara. Right on a good length outside the off stump in the middle of Fair Park Reserve. He gets the handball back, does the old 1-2. Long left foot kick inside 50. Cowan's going to be the first one there for the Eastern Lions. He's happy to see it out of bounds for a boundary throw in the deep forward pocket on the broadcast side of Fair Park Reserve.
Need a goal here, FERNTREE Gully. First time really inside 50, they need to get something
out of it. How often do you see it in footy? The other team attack. It goes down the other end once, and so often the team that held on for so long in defence gets a quick, cheap goal. Not on this occasion, though. Bowen gets the handball to Lockhart. He goes across to McComb. He runs away from the tacklers and puts a long shot towards goal and just hits it on the left-hand side, gets it on the instep. That would have been good. That would have been massive for the FERNTREE Gully side, and that's what they needed.
That was the one, straight in front, running into goal. They were kicking those in the first term.
So Temple gets a kick, the quick kick out from defence. It's on the far side of the ground here. Goes to the true wing position. It's a 2-on-1 contest. The ball comes out the back, and the numbers are with the Lions. De Graaf gets tackled, but gets the hand pass away. Trying to put his influence or stamp on the game is Prowse, but he gets dispossessed. Waldron's in there too. The ball eventually gets kicked inside the forward 50 for the Eagles. Numbers are with the Eagles there too. Getting in there and spinning around is Pearce. Can Pearce put the ball through the middle of the sticks? The answer is no. Just a minor score there for the Eagles, and who are desperate, who are starving for a goal, just like Seymour with a hot dog. And
who's eaten them all already?
Yeah, it certainly has eaten them all. The ball comes back underway. The ball comes out the back, and it's marked there by Lambrick. In fact, Murphy.
Jaden Murphy's got the ball at half back for the Eastern Lions. He doesn't have much. He don't know what he was trying to do there, but another absolute mongrel off the side of the boot, straight off the ankle, out of bounds on the full. Almost
that was a beauty, wasn't it?
Direct centre wing. Louis Krieger, who had a great moment out in front of us before, sells McLaughlin a little bit of candy, and then again some more candy. McLaughlin bought it twice, and Krieger goes in the middle of the ground, but that is very ill-directed. Turns the ball over to Want, who stops and props and then stabs out wide. It's got the big fellow, I think that's Hall, Might even be Jimmy Top for the Eastern Lions. Jimmy Top it is. The big fella goes long on the left boot inside 50 in the Murphy direction, who clocks an absolute ripper. That's a contested mark in every sense of the word. Among 4 players, stands up, puts the Dukes up, and the umpire pays the mark. He's going to go back for goal number 4, and to put this lead for the Eastern Lions out to 26 points, which is absolutely remarkable stuff. Have you marked it down, Hurler?
Yeah, we'll mark this one down again.
It's on the other side of the ground. So.
It's going to roll down with the heel, we know that.
He'll tell you.
Kicks on its way, it shoots, and he kicks it behind. So you give a guy a rap, he'll let you down every time, Aaron Hurle. The old commentator's curse. Not bad by you on debut here on the EFL Media Team, but that puts the margin out to 21 points here at Fair Park Reserve, the home side with all the running.
And that must have been I reckon that's his 3rd or 4th grab inside 50.
Yeah, big strong marks too.
He's got that swag about him where he just says, I'm going to mark this and don't worry about it.
He's got a
straight lines.
A word you hear sometimes is presence. He just seems to have that presence.
So it's Ricky
like
Aiken.
Seymour on the huddle.
Correct. Well, someone has to have something.
So Ricky Aiken from the defensive square gets the ball out, and the run is with Evans. The great ball movement here from the Eagles, gets dumped after the kick, but the kick was absolutely perfect. And the mark is taken on the forward 50.
Goals the FERNTREE Gully boys. I'll just
it's on behind play as well.
LaRusso.
So LaRusso gets the kick out to Pearce. Mopping up is the Eagles, although the hand pass went straight to Want, who just wanted the sanctuary of the boundary line and got it.
Real sharp pun work by you tonight.
Just need to get out of the FERNTREE Gully boys. Don't worry about running after and whacking a bloke now. They need to get into the game.
Yeah, when you're 21 points down against a young up-and-coming side in front of a big home crowd on Saturday night footy on Anzac Day, you just got to do the basics.
So the ball finds its way to Waldron. He looks for the switch, and it's absolutely perfect kick. And coming out on a strong lead for the Eagles is Michael Russo.
The big fellow. He put his stamp on it early. He was probably the best player on the ground at quarter time. Has gone out of it a little bit, but that kick from Waldron was probably a sharper foot pass as we've seen tonight.
Yeah, great vision there by Waldron. Can the kick match that from Russo? Yes, it can. Great kick there by Michael Russo, and he gets his first on the board, and a very much needed goal there for the Eagles.
And as in that second quarter, it was Waldron. I think he'd set up a couple of goals for FERNTREE Gully as well, so his passing's been good.
Well, I think they've gone inside 50 maybe 4 or 5 times this quarter, FERNTREE. I think he's put him inside 3 himself from his run from the half-back line.
Yeah, he certainly has been prominent in the second half, has Waldron thus far. So they bring the margin back to, I believe it is 15 points. We're just waiting for the scoreboard to go up. In fact, it is 15
that great
points.
Man has arrived.
So 11-10-76 the Eastern Lions to FERNTREE Gully 9-7-61 Seymour.
That roar you heard go up just then when that goal went through wasn't the FERNTREE Gully supporters. It was absolutely everybody as Ben Warren Smith has made his way into Fair Park Reserve. The Eastern Lions make their way inside forward 50. Evans is good enough to rebound this ball out onto centre wing. He was looking for Russo, but he missed that target. Temple was the first man there. He's cocked up the footy to McComb, who puts the footy under his arm and goes long inside forward 50 out into the space and running onto it and taking a great mark is Ryan Pearce. That's fantastic transportation of the air conveyance from FERNTREE Gully twice, 2 times going inside forward 50, spotting up a fantastic target, kicking to the space, not the player. Ryan Pearce is going to have a crack at the FERNTREE Gully Eagles' second successive goal to cut the margin back to 9 points after it was at 21. The left foot kicks on its way. It's deliberate. It's swinging back from outside the off stump and it rolls through for a goal. Fantastic stuff from Ryan Pearce. He's kicked another one. The margin back to 9 points out here at Fair Park Reserve. 11-10-76 plays 10-7-67. A great game of footy under lights on Anzac Day.
You see a big difference there, especially when the ball got out there. Jason Watt's been terrific tonight. 3 FERNTREE Gully players around him. He fumbles the footy, ball's back in, and that was a great kick inside 50 to a leading player.
Yeah, great mark as well, taken by Pearce. Low on hands and knees, and the diving mark was taken. As the ball comes back in, 2 taps at it from Bailey, back in the ruck here. Instead, it's going to be Curtis who tries to get rid of the ball. He's absolutely wrapped up in the tackle by Ben Prowse, and the umpire will call for a secondary ball up. So this game's really come alive here at Fair Park.
Hasn't it ever?
Both teams really wanting this victory here on such a memorable occasion. On hands and knees, looked to be that man Mitch Need. In fact, he did end up getting the kick out. Getting on his bike is McLaughlin. Also there is Ormston for the Lions. Also in there as well is Calaguiri, who ended up with a bit of a hand pass, a bit of a shank of a hand pass too. The ball eventually comes out and the It's taken a mark there by Darren Murphy.
Well done.
Murphy centres inside, looks inboard and finds Cameron Banks. That player with that silky goal in the second quarter there with that one-handed roving, and now he's got a chance to kick his second goal.
Yeah, quick transition there, just before allow FERNTREE Gully, they drop back, so they quick on the boot and found a free man.
What we are noticing, and I said before that the conditions won't dry up, made me look stupid because I think they have got a bit dry because they're starting to mark the ball and hit their target. It's dry with the footy we're seeing now.
Yeah, good drainage here at Fair Park Reserve as Cameron Banks shoots for his second goal and disappointingly puts it wide.
That hurt.
As the lap of honour from the goal umpire just goes around the long way and then
He asked
signals
about the
behind.
umpire what he thinks as well.
Good to see they're all working together here. Justin Murphy is going to try and take the kick in again for FERNTREE Gully. He had a pretty good quarter. He was awesome at the start of this third quarter when Eastern Lions were just starting to get on top. Now the FERNTREE Gully side have their momentum. They've got to go coast to coast. We've actually unbelievably seen a couple of the sides go coast to coast a few times tonight. So Murphy just goes long down the centre corridor here at Fair Park Reserve. Bailey couldn't quite get into the contest and standing up and taking a real strong, tough mark for FERNTREE Gully was another one of those under-19 grand final players from last year, and Nick Noops turns around, goes to Vito LaRusso at half forward, takes a strong contested mark, a one grab it, kicks out to the space inside forward 50 and leading out and taking a strong mark is, I think that's Rhino Pierce again.
This is good footy. This is really good footy from FERNTREE Gully. It's direct. They've switched back on the way they were playing the first term. They've taken the momentum from the Eastern Lions here. It just shows you that miss on goal.
So the third possession in that chain from full-back is his shot on goal from Pierce. Goes across the face of goal and standing high on the goal mark and taking a great mark is Ben Rawlings. Right hard up against the boundary line. We know how much the modern player loves this one. The old Stevie J run back around the corner. Bend it back through for a snap. He hit my car. I'm going to kill you, Ben Rawlings.
Jeez, that's a pretty serious sort of threat there.
He's he's made a real good fist of it. It was straight in the middle, but he's absolutely kicked it flat.
Yeah, he needed elevation there. Would have been a certain goal.
I'm tipping it over the bar, almost soccer goalkeeper style at full back.
He's just about got his hands on most of them tonight. Eastern Lions boys down there.
So Maxwell with the kick in. Not in any great hurry. Looking like he will go long and...
No, it's a smart option. Nothing on
the middle of the ground. So indeed he does go long to a huge pack of players. Flying very high was Cowan. Couldn't bring the mark down. As the 3/4 time siren goes here at Fair Park Reserve. Spotlight amid a bit of a melee here. Umpire's just getting in the middle of it. Just saying, guys, walk to your huddles.
Worst time for it to happen too.
That's it. When the ball is when the play is no longer on. There's a bit of push and shove. Nothing too aggressive here.
So the umpires are still well within their rights to dish out red and yellow cards.
That's it.
We'll move away from it now. 11-11-77 plays 10-8-68. A 9-point ball game here at Fair Park Reserve. It's the home side of the Eastern Lions taking it right up to the FERNTREE Gully Eagles. Back to the 98.1 Radio Eastern Studios to Dyson Baker. This is EFL Game Night thanks to Pancake Parlour. Lovely.
Oh, Barry, he was a great guy, a real larrikin. He loved his footy, was a loyal Carlton supporter. This year's our year, he'd say. He always had Slim Dusty blaring through the speakers, so at Barry's send-off, his coffin was painted navy blue, and Slim Dusty's looking forward, looking back filled the room.
At Tobin Brothers Funerals, our motto is, if it's legal, it's possible. Visit tobinbrothers.com.au. Tobin Brothers Funerals, celebrating lives.
Program sponsor.
Hey man.
Yeah, man.
Can you smell it?
Smell what?
It's my favourite smell in the world.
Footy season.
Yeah, man, like you can smell the grass at the Mighty G.
Yeah, and you know what else I can smell? The hot marshmallow chocolate at Pancake Parlour.
They're like my favourite smells ever. Like first you head to the G and smell the grass, and then after you've chewed your guts out, head straight to Pancake Parlour and warm up with a delicious hot marshmallow chocolate.
Oh, it's made with pure Belgian chocolate, seriously decadent.
Oh, Pancake Parlour, open 24 hours, High Point, Malvern and Doncaster East.
Lovely.
Program sponsor.
Certainly is lovely. Welcome back to the Radio Eastern studio. What a game we've got going on out at Fair Park Reserve. There's a big game going on out over at Adelaide Oval, the Portress they're calling it these days. Port Adelaide currently lead 43-7. Wow. 23 minutes gone in the first term. It's a massive lead to Port Adelaide at the 23-minute mark. The Hawks trail by 36 points, or the Power lead by 36 points, whichever way you want to look at it. If you're a Hawthorn supporter, I would suggest you don't turn it on. And just as the boys were mentioning before, it's all one-way traffic for the Giants. The Giants are actually trending on Twitter. That's how well they're doing. 112. They currently lead the Suns 47. One man who won't be very happy about that is Aaron Kirkby-Rodier. But we'll head back to the boys shortly. Plenty of great action going on. As the boys mentioned before, Bayswater getting their first victory finally in a night game. They've hosted a few over the last couple of years, 11-16-82. They defeated Scoresby 5-7-37 in a low-scoring affair. We're ahead of the game at Mooroolbark, so we'll get a result. We'll get a three-quarter time score from them shortly. But at half-time, it was 3-4-22.
Eastern Lions by 9
Mooroolbark,
points. Eastern Lions by 9
2-7-19. We might cross back down to Fair Park Reserve and the boys down there at Fair Park for the massive clash, the final term of Eastern Lions taking on FERNTREE GULLY.
Yes, real sharp by you, Dyson Baker. Struck down by laryngitis during the week, but doing something as sharp as tonight.
Always, mate, always. Would you expect anything less?
And Ben Warren Smith is telling me you were in tears after the Waverley Blues went down in the last-ditch effort this afternoon.
Well, I actually have to. I did bring this up with you off air, but Ray Baird's been worried about guys being a little bit too biased to the clubs that they're I suppose linked to in some way, and was having a bit of a stab at you for your allegiances to Templestowe. And as soon as Nick Batsanis kicked that goal this afternoon on EFL Gameday, you've never seen one man so excited in your entire life.
He's a disgrace. And links to Donny East.
Some of us don't have links to clubs.
All he's ever done down there, he spent $100 over the bar in one session.
Says Aaron Kirkby-Rodier, the bloke that knows every Vermont player off by half his time.
He was wearing his Vermont hoodie at the huddle.
Yeah, but I've also got a Noble Park membership, so I'm sharing the love around the league, guys. So
did you get your hoodie? Did you get the Noble Park hoodie?
No, I haven't got one yet. So they've given me a scarf and a membership card, so I'm happy with that.
Real sharp stuff as well. Dawson mentioned that the Giants are currently trending on Twitter. That's no mean feat in the midst of an earthquake in India and the Indian Premier League going on.
Right now.
No, not bad for you.
In front of a massive crowd of 6,917
at
Star Trek Oval in Canberra.
It's almost like a North Melbourne game.
It's really not fair that we have to go. They might have to start putting the things over the seats again.
Back out to the eastern suburbs of Melbourne Fells. We're here at Fair Park Reserve, across the road from EFL House, the place that is the.
My car's still got four wheels on it, doesn't it?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so. Not in this part of the world at this time of night, mate. Probably should have taken it home. 11-11-77 the Eastern Lions, 10-8-68 the FERNTREE GULLY Eagles. 9 points the difference here. This is it's what's turning out to be a fantastic game of footy. We saw a 20-point lead to FERNTREE GULLY, a 21-point lead to the Eastern Lions sometime after that, and now we're back to 9 points. This could go down to the wire. One for the ages on Anzac Day.
Yeah, this is an absolute cracker, a real seesawing encounter, and it's really hard to pick a winner here. I've been going one way with Eastern Lions, and I'm feeling like it's the FERNTREE GULLY Eagles. I'm thinking maybe the Eastern Lions might hold on, but look, Hurle, it's anyone's game.
Well, that's right. It's just been like a game of halves each quarter.
Yep.
Yeah. For the start of it, it was the Eastern Lions, they dominated, but then FERNTREE GULLY, they started to get their hands on the ball, quick entries into the 50, and then ended up kicking a couple of goals. So I'm wondering if that miss for the Eastern Lions just before three-quarter time may come back to haunt them, but still 10, is it 10 points?
9.
9 points.
It's probably not a lead that suggests how much dominance they had in that quarter, the Eastern Lions. And
they were fantastic, weren't they?
We've got a hill here behind the goals to the right of your radio dial that's starting to get a bit of competition for Norwood. That I was there today, and we had some long, lengthy breaks behind the goals. If you're out there listening to the council, how about you chucking that up behind there for us? It'd be great.
No, and we don't mind down on the right-hand side. That slope as well. That's coming into the game. The Paul Semertzidis slope, I believe they're calling it now.
No self-promotion, you said on
I think that's unfounded.
No self-promotion.
What's what I'm going to call it anyway.
There you go, self-proclaimed.
The umpire holds the ball off to get the last quarter underway here at Fair Park Reserve. Noops to do battle in the ruck with Hurle. The young fella from FERNTREE GULLY gets the hit out. It goes straight to McLaughlin of the Eastern Lions, who just drives the boot into it, and it goes out of bounds in between wing and half forward for the Eastern Lions. A good start to them.
Already playing for touch.
Yes.
I actually saw, I don't usually say this, but I saw one of them in the reserves game today get paid deliberate out of the middle. I could not believe it. Strangest to see.
We get behind our umpires here in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne.
Yeah, well, I think it might have been a fill-in, so.
It wasn't our man Brad Pulley, that's for sure. He was umpiring seniors today. Gets the cut-off ball and kicks it out into space, and running onto it and leading out for that footy well is the big fella who's already kicked one this evening in big Redzik. Sandor Redzik. the Russian, the Croat, the Serbian. I'm not sure where that's from.
Yeah, definitely from the Balkans. So it'd be Serbian, Croatian.
He's from the Eastern Lions, mate.
Yes, we don't mind it, and he rolls home this right foot kick. And it's a beauty. What a hit from Sandor Redzik. There's first blood to the Eastern Lions to start the last quarter. 12-11-83. He plays 10-8-68.
Slope.
Wowee.
That was the slope.
Yes, that's the slope.
The slope. We're getting a bit of work out of that Seymour. I'm impressed.
Well, that's why he self-proclaimed it as the Paul Semertzidis slope there.
And how many times will we hear it for the rest of the week is the question.
Yes. Not on EFL Sunday tomorrow, so I won't get a chance to roll it out. But the huddle on Wednesday night.
So we'll hear about the Paul Semertzidis slope on the Wednesday, but we're here on a Saturday night at Fair Park Reserve here. The Lions extending their lead to 13 points, and they'll go forward again. It's at the true centre half forward position.
Murphy just got a touch there.
Yeah, it certainly did. But it looks like the Eagles will repel, albeit short term, as McLaughlin takes the diving mark.
He was instrumental in that fight back from the Eastern Lions in the third term. Kicked a couple of goals himself.
Yeah, McLaughlin got the 3, and he's kicked it long towards the true centre half forward position here at Fair Park Reserve. Ball comes to hands, and is it Want who screws it around the left foot?
Darren Murphy.
It was actually, yeah, you're right. I think it was Darren Murphy on the left foot, just screwed around the corner, but only for a minor score.
You're right, Seaman. It's that big body of McLaughlin.
Yep.
Yeah, he'd love these conditions, just bash and crash.
I think that's what they've lacked a bit, Hurle. I mean, Bailey and Cowan, I don't think, for mine, I think they've been quite redundant this evening. They've done nothing, the two big fellas, so they needed that next string big fella in McLaughlin. And this bloke here is just taken a great contested mark right on cue. Cole Hurle, he's had a big afternoon.
Yeah, you just find, I think in that second half of that third quarter, Hurd went forward, and that's when FERNTREE GULLY started to get their hands on it.
Handballs to the other man, McLaughlin, who drops back onto the right boot and hoofs it inside forward 50. Big pack of players forming. Ben Prowse is there, so's Cam Banks. He's right foot kick.
I think he was aiming for your car there.
Yeah, he probably was. I think it's just gone through for a point there. So the lead to the Eastern Lions goes out to 16 points here at Fair Park Reserve.
I think that was Murphy's first turnover as well for that previous kick, but he makes amends. And they've gone up right through the middle of the ground here, and the mark has been paid. It will go the way of Russo. Russo gets the hand pass off to Lawson. He goes towards a half-forward position. The mark is taken.
Vito LaRusso.
And it's Vito LaRusso. So Mr. Italiano goes to the centre square, so the goal square. In fact, he shot for goal, and it actually travelled the distance.
Made a good fist of it.
Yeah, and it's crashed into the post. So disappointing result there for the Eagles as the minor score ensues.
Enjoying this day. That's good coast-to-coast footy from FERNTREE.
Yeah, it's starting to open up a bit now. As it looks, it's a good game of footy. Maybe it wasn't standard-wise early on, but it's starting to become so now. There's Dale Maxwell in the back pocket for the Eastern Lions. Drives to a pack on centre wing. Cowan watches Noops, his direct opponent, go up almost unopposed.
He's done that a few times tonight.
And going in hard and leaving no stone unturned on that competition was Ant LaRusso. So Noops against Hurd. Hurd gets the tap down. Krieger's in there. He's just bumped off the ball. Handball from McLaughlin. Straight to Vito LaRusso. And the boundary umpire.
Sharp.
Yes, right on the money there. And Rhino Pearce has thought he's taken the mark and had to go back and kick the goal, but not good enough foxing from you, Pearcey. It's the boundary umpire, your man AKR.
Yeah, he's
been real sharp this evening, and there and again, have a look at that, straight as an arrow. The boundary umpire almost claims to being best on ground here this evening.
I want to find out his
The
name.
uncontested mark dropped by Darren Murphy, and that ball trickles out for a boundary throw-in on centre wing.
Do we give him the Trojan tools?
Yes, give him the Trojan tools. Well, he's an umpire, so he's probably a tool of some sort.
That was a
quick shout out to Brad Pulley.
Fair whack.
Whack. He does the same job again. Hurd watches it go over the back to Lockhart. He's got Lawson, and Murphy just shepherds for him, and then watches him get absolutely dumped, wrapped up, and ransacked by Mitch Need, holding the ball. Turnover. Eastern Lions are going to run away with this one. They go long inside forward 50. A pack converges, and just reading the drop of the ball better than anybody else, and taking a great. Oh, the umpire's
called a push in the back. Yeah, Redzik took the mark as well.
Tell you what, Ant LaRusso and Jack Ormston have been into it all night, just behind the ball.
So the kick comes to the wing position. It's a 2-on-1 contest. Getting his hands on it is Waldron, but he loses out, and the Lions are away. And they go through Mitch Need, who kicks towards the goal. Touched was the ball there by the FERNTREE GULLY defender here. The ball comes out, a quick kick around the corner. And it's just gone for a minor score. No, in fact, it's just trickled out of bounds. So a pretty good result there for the Lions as they'll get another chance to put boot to ball and extend their lead.
They're peppering.
Peppering.
They're peppering.
That's a nice word. I like peppering.
They certainly are peppering. Getting on hands and knees is Lockhart. Can't get the hand pass out. And the umpire will call for a secondary stoppage.
They're young players. I think the Eagles have been fantastic. Lockhart's one of them. Patrick Turner hasn't had to do much, but Luke McComb, Louis Krieger, Evans, Noops, these are the guys that played in the Lions Grand Final last year. They've all had big evenings.
Yeah, they certainly have. The younger players are stepping up for the Eagles as McComb loops a hand pass down the ground there. Bit of a soccer off the ground as the ball comes back. The Eagles retain possession, but they're mucking around with it. Oh, not really much of a kick there. In fact, he needed, if anything.
Off the thigh.
And the umpire's eventually called for the ball here.
It's definitely something Seymour
actually gone out of bounds.
Is really positive for the Furniture Gully side. Even if they don't get the victory tonight, it's something that's going to really set them in good stead for the future.
Yep, exactly right. Still a lot of water to go under the bridge here.
And it's coming down again, speaking of the water.
It is at 12-13-85, plays 10-9-69. Bailey leading forward out of the goal square. Quick out of the stoppage, and Gareth Bailey just had the front position and it fell in his lap. Let's see what the big man's made of here. A pressure kick on a tight angle, 45 metres out, hard up against the boundary line here at Fair Park Reserve.
Where's he need to aim it to get that slope, Seymour?
He's going to need to go on his right boot.
About your car?
You reckon he's got a little bit of left to right about this one, so top of the left post just brings it back. We've got a good view of it here. Comes in from the car park and absolutely nails it. Made no mistake, the big fella. Gareth Bailey puts his stamp on this game. 13-13-91. The Eastern Lions, they lead the Ferntree Gully Eagles 10-9-69. A 22-point margin out here at Fair Park Reserve. A game-high 22-point margin. Can the Eagles fight back?
I feel like we're harping on it early, but that was terrific again. Out of the contest, man in front, getting the ball in there quickly. It's amazing how it's
quick transition.
around.
Yeah, just basic football.
That's it. Basic wet weather football at that.
Hasn't changed much over 100 years. This sport. You get in front, you get to the footy first, and you run hard and you tackle hard. You win most games of footy.
You might get a coaching gig soon. You keep going.
With philosophies like that, I should be earning big bucks.
As the Eastern Lions, in fact, it's the Ferntree Gully side that get the ball to the centre half forward position. The numbers are with the Lions, but it looks as if, getting stuck in there is Simons, and he prevented the Lions, or the Eagles, I should say, from taking the ball away. It's a real cut and thrust passage of play here. Hurd gets his hands on the ball. It's a real soap in. No players able to get a really clear possession. Instead, the free kick eventually does go the way of the Lions, and they'll look to steady the ship.
Through want. Now it's raining again. It becomes harder for the Ferntree Gully side to rein in this 22-point lead. We're getting back to that slog fest of sloppy football we saw in the first half. That roving work from Big Matty Eddie was sensational. Shrugged the tackle. That was just strength. Got the kick out to centre half forward. Mark not taken. Cast in the role of a rover is Kyle Hurd. Gets around one. Goes long inside 50. Over the head of Darren Murphy. Into the goal square. Picking it up and kicking a goal is Mitch Mead. There's Rossilo, I think, for the Eastern Lions. Margin out to 28 points here at Fair Park Reserve. And have a look at him get around him. Kyle Hurd, the big fella, take a bow. Set that up with a long kick going inside 50.
Oh, this is super impressive. It's great to see a footy team go from what we saw them earlier in the night to run away with it here. I mean, this has been terrific footy. Hopefully the Gully can get their way back into it, but it's just great. This is great to see.
There's a story within the game here. This is a great win, but not in terms of these teams, but in terms of the clubs. Well done to the Eastern Lions.
So the ball comes back under play. The Eastern Lions look to get the clearance. That man de Graaf, who's had a great game, getting amongst the touches. Temple's also in there, but the ball eventually comes out to Want, who kicks it inside forward 50. And man in front, it's that wet weather football that was heard me once again.
You must have heard me.
And it's Gareth Barrett.
We're getting something from the big man now.
So Gareth Bailey, who kicked the last goal for the Lions, will look to get 2 in 2 minutes.
He's just said, no, I'm going to have a shot here.
He kicked the one before, he kicked one, and then Needy got one.
Yep.
So he'll be his second goal of the game and his second goal of the final quarter. Talk about clutch.
Certainly is.
He's got to put it through yet.
He has to do just that. So it's Gareth Bailey from 45 metres out.
Johnny Wilkinson style run-up.
Oh, well done. Hands on the line stuff there, and eventually the ball is conceded for a rush behind Kavara, that man doing just that, and they move to a 23-point lead.
Sorry, Hurle. We say about getting the ball forward, but these big blokes aren't marking the footy as well, so we've got to give a lot of credit to them.
Yeah, they certainly are. The kick from Murphy finds Lockhart. He goes out wide and tries to find Evans, and it misses him. And the 2-on-1 on the Eastern Lions eventually wins out. Cute little handball over the top from Need. Gets it to McLaughlin. Matty Eddie is in there also. And the boundary line wins out on that occasion. So some good footy being played here by the Eastern Lions. If they do happen to hang on here or tough this one out and hang on to this lead, it will be a very hard-fought win and a great win. You go in there, you sing the song, you rush to the shower because there's probably about 20 minutes of hot water here. You get in there first and then you just soak up, enjoy the win, have a couple of beers.
But as you said, Seymour, before, a win against FERNTREE Gully, in previous years, Eastern Lions, they've only beat the sides that around them or lower.
Yep.
You know, where FERNTREE Gully, they've been perennial finalists for the last few years.
Correct. So it's a big win for the club, and I'm sure Luke Gordon, who we spoke to on the huddle on Wednesday night, to be absolutely stoked with this performance as the president of the club.
Got a question here for you, Seymour.
Yeah, off the SMS?
No, it's off the Twitter.
Off the tweet, off the old social medias.
From Brash. Ask Paul what's the difference between a forward and reverse corkscrew punt.
Well, reverse corkscrew punt is the inverted barrel. It rolls the other way. I would have thought that's self-explanatory, Brash.
Whack.
No, we don't mind. Wayne Brash did a fantastic job on EFL Gameday this afternoon. How about the work from Jason Ront today in the Channel 9 dots? Gets that one away from the stoppage, gets it to Murphy, who almost bites off more than he can chew there. The one-handed pick-up from Patrick Turner is sensational. Gets a handball through to Evans, who goes long to a pack. Vito LaRusso was the target. Temple called out a teammate, went for the ball himself, sliding in hard. He's doing the hard work for the FERNTREE Gully side is Simon Godfrey. Of course, another man with AFL experience, Simon Godfrey.
Well, you said there's only one out there, mate, so you've been a bit harsh.
Yeah, I forgot he was out there when I said that. Of course,
former Norseman,
and Mitcham. Spent some time at the Mitcham Footy Club. Of course, had a fantastic AFL career with the Melbourne Demons. Noops, inside 50 for the Eagles. Temple's going to run back and take an uncontested mark, so great job. He's had a pretty good day.
Nice wheels too.
Josh Temple.
Yeah, Temple's done really well there as he gets the kick out to Simons.
Of course, Seymour likes him, though. Temple stay.
Hey.
Played. So Simons.
Couple of comedians in the commentary box this evening.
Off hands here. The ball is thrust wide there from McLaughlin and it goes out of bounds here on the wing position of Fair Park Reserve. A 23-point lead to the Lions. And they look to be coasting. So we'll just wait for the boundary umpire to do his thing. As I said, just about best on here today. Might get the Trojan tools. Ball comes down. McComb trying to get first use. Get that hand pass out there. Instead, he becomes the tackler. The umpire waits for the ball to be absolutely wrapped up. And it is a secondary stoppage here for the Lions. It's a big herd in the ruck. Noops jumps over the top of him. Gets the tap there. Trying to force his way through there. For the Lions once again is Mitch Need.
Bit of frustration setting in now for the FERNTREE Gully boys.
Yeah, that's it. Could be a bit of indiscipline here as Cole Hurd gets the tap here.
Start thinking about your 3-2-1 as well, fellas. There's a Trojan toolkit to be given away to the best player on the ground.
And one of those best plays today has been De Graaf. He gets a left foot kick inside the forward 50 for the Lions. Instead, mopping up is Lockhart. The hand pass comes back. Somehow the ball is kept in play, but the force kick down the line is marked uncontested by Jack Ormston. He'll look to effect the switch here. Gets a short kick out to that man in James Hall. Just chips along the line here. Dumped after he kicked it. It will be down the ground here. A correct decision by the umpires. They've had a sensational job, or done a sensational job here today. Kyle Hurd showing some silky skills, or not. Larson, or in fact it was Lockhart with the mark he should have taken. The kick comes around the corner. It was that man Redzik, but again, a bit of the live wire, trying to bite off a little bit more than he could chew, and it is out of bounds on the full.
Let's cop someone's car down there in the forward pocket.
Good, on the opposite side to where I was parked, so I'm happy with that.
I don't know what sort of colour you'd call that, Seymour.
Mustard yellow? No? Lime green, maybe?
I reckon it's a lime green. Yeah.
Lime green, sort of Calippo-y sort of...
It's heinous, that's what it is.
It's certainly a bit of an eyesore.
Jeez, he's whacked a few people on Seymour.
Yeah, not happy for some reason. Got real grubs, real Mick Malthouses about me.
Ever since the team sheets were in the wrong order, Seymour has just been an angry unit tonight.
More holes in them than a piece of Swiss cheese, the team sheets we were given this afternoon.
He's actually ripped them up. He's not actually...
There's absolutely nothing numerical about these team sheets tonight, but we'll press on as we've still got a game of footy here to play.
It's a good game of footy too. We've seen a good, hard-fought game of Division 4 footy. Considering the conditions that we saw, FERNTREE GULLY are still fighting this one out. Handball comes over top to LaRusso. He's immediately beset upon by Temple, who's been awesome today. The kick from Hurle. Out of the graph. Going inside 50. A good kick up. But the mark not taken in a contested situation. Big hands coming wide for the Eagles. And now they're looking to find some uncontested possession. It's not going to happen on this occasion. Going in hard there was Want. The Channel 9 Dots. They've been pretty good this evening as well.
I'll tell you what, Want and Temple, they look exactly the same. If you.
Yeah, no, they do.
So I reckon they definitely get a bit of each other's plaudits tonight. Similar players too.
True that. The ball comes to ground here from the ball up. Curtis gets absolutely beset upon by a pack of Lions. And it is another secondary stoppage here. As the Lions are just doing it easily in cruise control. Bit of a nil draw in the ruck here as the ball comes out wide. Hand pass across by Rawlings, finds the runner. The FERNTREE GULLY Eagles are away. They'll go inside forward 50. It's a one-on-one contest. Leading the race is Pearce. One way, then the other. Screws the ball around the corner here. Trying to get his hands on the ball, but the boundary line beats it to him is Michael Russo as a bit of junk time goal for the Eagles Mansu.
Again, that was Temple. He pushed back. Before that, he was up in the, on the centre line. He pushed back and he made that contest and pushed it out.
So the ball comes back in. It's Hurd and Turner. Turner gets the tap here, but the kick comes out from the Eastern Lions as they repel from defence. The ball comes out the back. Noops drops a mark he should have taken, but Russo thrusts the ball inside forward 50 once again. Off hands, a bit of a falcon here.
Yeah.
Certainly was. And absolutely dumps. Or being the tackle, I suppose I should say, was James Hall.
Doing the dumping.
Doing the dumping.
The dumpy.
he was the dumper. So the ball comes back out. Once again, Turner getting the hit out there. The umpire's called for...
How good's the gang tackling been tonight? Bit of a throwback for you, Seymour.
Yeah, no, it has. It's been the game early on, the conditions were conducive for that sort of footy, and the tackling pressure from both sides has been fantastic.
Hurd gets the tap out, and McComb leads in the race. Gets dispossessed. Could have got his head taken off. He continues to go at it. Lockhart's two in there. The soccer kick off the ground goes...
It's called for deliberate.
It's either out of bounds on the full or
it's throw-in.
It's a throw-in.
Good decision.
So not deliberate. Slews off the side of the boot. A bit of common sense here from the umpires, which you like to see. So the ball comes back in. It's the other boundary umpire doing his thing. Hurd gets the tap here. Tristan Curtis, hands on the ball, just hand passes up in the air to no one in particular. The ball's forced out by Mitch Need. In fact, it was Brad Need. Bit of a 2-on-2 contest here. Krieger tries to get boot to the ball, unable to do so. Great tackling, and then again by the Lions. Eventually the ball is won out by Brandon Allison, and he finds a teammate out on the outer wing.
Cut inside, centre half forward do the Eagles. Taking a mark and playing on there is Ant LaRusso. Goes out wide to brother Vito. Patrick Turner has a 3-on-1 to deal with. Getting there's Hall for the Eastern Lions. Just rolls through to Templestowe. To Temple.
Speaking of allegiances, don't be any more than that.
That's
Freudian slip.
He's got the purple haze on his tongue. Does Paul Semertzidis.
Good win to the Stowe today. Got on the board for the first time in season 2015. Godfrey, third man up.
Some of your finest there, Seymour.
Calaguiri.
Wearing some nice jumpers today too, Seymour, were they?
Yeah, Anzac Day jumpers they had on.
You got yourself on it?
The Tempe Boys. No, mate. No, I haven't been down there apart from last week.
They get the numbers right?
Yes, yeah. No holes in the team sheet standing Temple, so don't worry about that. Hurd gets the tap out to the graph. He's got Vito LaRusso in hot pursuit, but he gets away from him and is able to get the kick away. Ben Lockhart, good marking contest from him, but coming up, trumps for the Eastern Lions is Need. Goes inside forward 50 to McLaughlin, who takes a great mark out.
Man in front.
Certainly was the man in front. Plays on from centre half forward. Drives the long right foot kick towards goal over the back. Oh, great contested mark. Right bang smack on the goal line from Johnny Cavara, who's had a brilliant day for the FERNTREE GULLY side. Kicks the football out. 2-on-1 in favour of the Eastern Lions. Picked up there by Murphy. Gets some shepherding support. The kick's ill-directed though, and Phil Lawson, Josh Thurgood goes long.
Josh, oh my God, he's Thurgood.
into Waldron. He drops a mark, but gets a free kick for holding the man. The umpire has somehow paid advantage, even though everybody stopped. And there's a... that sums up the evening, that kick from the FERNTREE gully side. He was in plenty of space, had a teammate all by himself, and just dropped it on the wrong side of the boot. And
what was that called? What sort of kick?
That wasn't a reverse corkscrew, that was just a mung.
That was just a mongrel, yeah.
Floating sack sort of kick.
A real finger breaker type stuff.
Just gives the boundary umpire another opportunity to strut his finest.
Aaron Kirkby-Rodier all over him this evening.
Ball comes out the back here, leading in the race is Caliguiri. Turns, spins out of the tackle, shoots for goal. It's going to go to the top of the square. It's a 2-on-2 contest and smartly knocked off or punched away for a minor score. Well done to the Eastern Lions defence on that occasion.
It's the first real clean getaway from a contest I can remember the FERNTREE Gully boys having for a long time.
So Temple, short pass out, finds a teammate on the outer back pocket here. That man is Mercer. Goes along the line, a very high up and under kick here. Take that Mark Cowan, he can't quite do so. But the ball is roved smartly. Getting amongst there is Simon Godfrey, but the Lions will take it away. They'll go to a one-on-one contest on the true centre-half forward position. In amongst it is Redzik. Redzik around the corner, if you don't mind. What an absolutely stunning goal there by Sandor Redzik.
The man from East Europe.
He has kicked his goal, the big bad Balkan there. And that is all done and dusted. Game, set, match for the Eastern Lions. They've been absolutely outstanding here today. Seymour, can you read that scoreboard? Because I'm having a bit of trouble.
No, they just took it down. I'll tell you that the FERNTREE gully side are 10-10-70. I believe the Eastern Lions have just cracked the ton. They move on to 15-14-104.
I tell you what, he's got some class at ground level, that boy. He's a big key forward that's got some class at ground level, and I really enjoyed watching him play.
Bailey gets the tap down on as far as Caliguiri, gets it to Lawson, finds McComb, and now the Eagles go inside 50 through Caliguiri again. He got the old 1-2. Noops had the front position on Cowan, who was real sloppy in his defence, and that's a free kick. Pushed him in the back. As you had the front position, you get the front position, you earn the ball. That's exactly what Nicholas Noops did. You reckon that Mick Cowan is skinny? Have a look at Nick Noops.
He's been in the ruck as well.
He weighs about 8 kilos wringing wet, this young fella.
He's been going toe-to-toe with Kyle Hurd as an absolute mountain of a man.
And we get a real chance to have a look at your slope here, Seymour.
Yeah, just watch it roll from the left to the right and hard. Especially if he's a right footer.
In swinger.
It's exactly what it does, Aaron Kirkby-Rodier, and it rolls back nicely straight.
That swung back a little bit too late. Maybe swung back after it passed the edge there.
That's good. You're talking cricket. You want the ball to swing later rather than earlier, but I reckon
Jimmy Anderson style.
No, it's all right.
Yes, the great man, Jimmy.
You're not going to change the name of the slope because of one kick, I'll tell you that much. Temple stows the ball away to half-back.
Stow.
You start calling it the full Semertzidis pocket.
Ball comes off hands from Darren Murphy. It does go out of bounds.
Paul Semertzidis reserve.
Well, the grandstand's in that pocket there. I don't know if it's got a name on it yet.
The grandstand doesn't have a name.
He's going to work his way up from a slope to a grandstand. It will happen in good time. Absolutely beset upon was Ben Prowse. The umpire will call for a stoppage.
Would it be enough to get you away from the Dockers, Seymour?
Oh, I wouldn't have thought so.
You're a hard man to please, aren't you?
Oh, he's just got a heart that beats true for the Purple Haze, but we'll get back to Fair Park Reserve there. Simon Godfrey gets bundled off the ball as the boundary umpire's in the way of my TV screen here.
33-point margin to the Eastern Lions. You wouldn't have picked that halfway through the second quarter when FERNTREE Gully were up by almost 4 goals.
No, you certainly wouldn't have, but they've adapted to the conditions really well, have the Eastern Lions, and with their bigger bodies, they've certainly thrown their weight around, and they've come up worthy winners, in my opinion. As the free kick comes out here, will go.
FERNTREE Gully.
Will go the way of the Eagles.
Jesus.
So on the just forward of centre here, as the ball gets kicked high and towards the Noops direction. Through his hands it goes. Should have taken the mark there, but tough in these conditions. As the high-end pass comes out to McComb, he shares it once again. The Eagles will retain possession. Ball comes out the back here. It's De Graaf winning the 2-on-1 contest, screws it around the corner, but the kick is ill-directed.
Should be 25.
Yeah, because it should have been 25. Far too close to McComb there. As he just places the kick to the centre-half forward position, and Caliguiri takes the mark. Looks like he fancies his chances here from what would probably be 50 metres in the true sense of the word.
Last 5 minutes have probably been all the Eagles, but too little, too late.
As the kick comes in from Caliguiri, and it's off hands and for a minor score for the Eagles as we go into red time.
Yeah, it was nice rolling back down the hill. Good work, Seymour.
Temple
Impressed, mate.
kicking out from fullback. He's had that job for most of the evening for the Eastern Lions.
Done pretty well.
That one's bang on the money. It's a big Redzik. Goes out wider. 2-on-1 in front of the footy here, the Eastern Lions. Just misjudging that one in flight.
De Graaf.
Was De Graaf.
Did well.
Mead. Mercer. Now the Eastern Lions pushing hard. Number to take the mark was McLaughlin. Handballing at the teammate's ankles. Now Waldron. Is missed by Rawlings, who takes the footy himself and goes to half forward over the head of Murphy. First one there for the Eastern Lions is Maxwell. Gets around one. His handball smothered, partially smothered though. Gets to Vito LaRusso, who handballs straight back to Want, who runs into a wall of players. This is a hot footy in the FERNTREE Gully forward line at the moment.
Great attack by the Lions. They want the ball.
Mercer taps it onto Murphy, who found himself in a bit of space. Handball across to Big Benny Prowse. Has a look what's around him, realises there's nothing, kicks it to a 3-on-1 in favour of the Eagles. McComb brings it to ground, to Lawson, to Godfrey, who's absolutely dumped by Murphy and De Graaf. Turns the ball over to Bailey. Now that big fella, Gareth Bailey, through the middle of Fair Park Reserve, goes up to Jaden Murphy. He's unable to take the mark. He's got a teammate in support. The Eastern Lions really working. K. Murphy gets the handball off back to Jaden Murphy. Outside of the right boot, scrubbing kick towards goal. Didn't get any of that.
Oh.
There's a couple of players leading in the race. Johnny Cavara's in there, Needs in there. Now the footy will find itself being thrown up by the umpire.
By any means possible to stop there being a goal there. That was terrific work. Desperation. Good to see with the margin the way it is.
Yeah, exactly right. Most players would just let the Eastern Lions wander in and maybe have an uncontested shot on goal, but not. I think that was Russo was that man. And there's the siren out here at Fair Park Reserve. A great win, a landmark win, a milestone win for the Eastern Lions. 15-14, 104 defeated FERNTREE Gully 10-12, 72. A 32-point win to the Eastern Lions out here. Anzac Day footy, EFL game night, night footy back in the eastern suburbs of Melbourne. A great win. The up-and-coming Eastern Lions, they might have shaken that tag. They're not the best of the rest anymore. They're part of the big group in Division 4.
Yeah, well, as I said, with some of the newcomers coming into Division 4 this season, it gives a chance for a team such as the Eastern Lions to, as I said, really give it a real shake in 2015 in Division 4, and a fantastic 32-point win on their home ground on such a meritorious occasion, or meritorious, I should say, occasion. With their bigger bodies, they've just been simply a better team over the course of the night there, Hurler.
That's it. That's right. Especially the second half, it was the big bodies. It was the guy. It was the red. Who was it?
Redzik or whatever his name
is. Yeah,
is.
Redzik was fantastic.
Redzik or whatever his name is.
Oh, sorry, mate.
Real professional stuff from us in
Kane Murphy was fantastic as well, kicking the 3 goals.
And Seymour's mate also. Yeah, Daniel McLaughlin.
Yeah, I thought he was brilliant. He was very...
Kyle Hurd.
He didn't do a lot, but what he did was, it was strong. He always tended to push the footy forward for his side, and threw the body in, made himself sort of known. We'll get stuck into our 3 2-and-1s a little bit later on as we wrap up. Have 20 minutes to somehow wrap up what's been a fantastic game of footy. How we're going to squeeze it all into 20 minutes, I do not know. Usually we'd have some life care boundary riders to do some interviews, but that's not happening this evening. So we'll talk about the season that is now in Division 4. Eastern Lions go to 2-1, and Warrandyte have defeated Kilsyth today in a pretty good performance from them. There's been some other interesting results in Division 4 as well. Nunawanning had a good win over Surrey Park. The Glen Waverley Hawks just won against the Coldstream Cougars.
7 points, might have been.
Their first win since season 2013, so fantastic stuff.
And first win for Ryan Flack as coach too, so they're going through not winning one last year. So
that's a massive monkey on the back. Congratulations to the Glen Waverley Hawks.
On the back or off the back?
Off the back.
Off the
back.
That's
what I said.
I thought you said on. Forest Hill, a big win against Donvale, whose first 2 games back in the Eastern Football League had been close losses, but I just see myself on the screen. Fantastic stuff there from our cameraman. That threw me off, that did. But Donvale, they came out today against the might of the Forest Hill Footy Club, the Zebras, and showed that there might be a gap between the best sides and the worst sides in Division 4.
And hopefully the Eastern Lions can be one of those sides that joins the upper echelons of Division 4. As I said, early in the game, it felt like the FERNTREE Gully Eagles really summed up the conditions better. They adapted more quickly, and again, the Eastern Lions didn't really know how to play the game. They were overusing the handball. I mean, as the rain tended to settle a little bit, the Eastern Lions finally understood the conditions, played a much more direct brand of football, and with their bigger bodies, were just able to win those contests and kick a winning score.
What was impressive, I think, from that aspect, is we spoke about it a lot, but the way they did it halfway through a quarter, you know, sometimes it takes them to go and get a break from the coach about how to play those style of footy, but they did it halfway through a quarter.
Yeah, that's it. They've it's real leadership shown by some of the better players for the Lions to realise the situation and start turning it on in the only way they know how. And well, as I said, they come up trumps with a 32-point victory here, Hurle.
Yeah, that's right. So they'll take a lot of confidence out of tonight's victory, and hopefully they'll be able to push forward for a finals appearance this year. I think probably the top in Division 4. I think Warrandyte and Forest Hill are probably the standouts, but apart from that, I think it could be wide open.
Yeah, certainly very much could be wide open as we look next week to the two teams that these sides have. The Eastern Lions will be away to Kilsyth, so very much a winnable game there for either side. So the Eastern Lions would like to certainly get the 4 points for that one, whereas FERNTREE Gully will go home and they'll host Donvale in what they should start as favourites for that match.
It'll be a big game against Kilsyth for this Eastern Lions side next week. Absolutely. If they win that and go 3-1, they throw themselves up as that team that might take that fourth spot in Division 4. But it's been a big night for them, and we must, AKR, after all the dust has settled and all the water's gone under the bridge, we must thank Luke Gordon and his team out here at Fair Park Reserve tonight. We were a bit worried early on, but we were fed, we were hydrated, we were well looked after.
Yeah, they've done very well, Seymour. You ask them for a beer and you've got it, mate. So that's terrific work. And look, it's great to see. I mean, you just have a look at the players out there at the moment with all the fans around them. They're playing the song. People are out in the ground having a kick. It's a great footy club, and it's great to have come down here tonight.
Certainly has been great to come out here tonight at Fair Park Reserve. In pretty good condition, I must say.
Fair Park, that's what it's called, Fair Park.
Yeah, well, that's it. It doesn't lie, this ground, and it's got the Semertzidis slope as well. So,
well, it's got a nice ring to it,
doesn't it?
Yeah, a bit of alliteration here at Fair Park Reserve.
We'll have to retire from media duties and come out here and
just explain to people for training how it works.
Yes, and just let them know what's what on the training track, and maybe roll a few back down that hill myself.
Everyone's an expert, aren't they?
Dyson Baker in the 98.1 Radio Eastern Studios. You were out at the great Zerby's Reserve this afternoon, and we touched on that result a little bit earlier on at half time, in fact, when we did speak, or three-quarter time. It was a last gasp win to Doncaster East, and a good game of footy to kick off today's Anzac Day broadcast.
Yeah, look, in fairness to Doncaster East, they probably controlled most of the afternoon. It was only really late in the third, early in the fourth, where Waverley just seemed to have it all their own way and seemed to get the run on and kicked a goal with probably 2.5 minutes to spare to put them 3 points up, and then all of a sudden Nick Batsanas from deep in the pocket, much to the delight of Ben Warren Smith, managed to slot one home. I think there was only about 50 seconds left on the clock. Went inside forward 50 twice, I think, for the Waverley Blues in that last minute, but they couldn't get the job done, and that's a very handy win in the context of the season for Doncaster East, because it just to be ahead of the ledger with a few other sides is very handy. With Doncaster's no result draw this afternoon, it puts them in sort of the mix with Bayswater and Wanty South and Waverley at the moment. So. But good to see that Eastern Lions win actually puts them inside the 4 at the moment for the first time in a while.
It certainly does, and we made the point before we were having a chat amongst ourselves that this is more the story here isn't